Boo ba doo ba doo 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 doo.
Hello.
Boom.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
Can you hear me all right?
think we're live. Can you hear? Great.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah.
Buddy.
I think we're live. Let me. Oh, some Tuesdays it collapses here, and I spend like 15 minutes like going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. It's a nightmare, mate. I'll do it off my laptop now. I used to do it off my phone, so I've just had to all set it all up. And I've got this. I found my old sort of like microphone, so I don't have to use my headset. But I don't know what the quality's like. So
Sounds good. Sounds good.
yeah. Is it all right? Is it perfect?
Are you on your laptop now or your phone or?
Yeah, laptop. Yeah.
So we have a quick look at the comments. Yeah, everybody can see and hear us. Absolutely brilliant. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great start to the week. Why is the hair not blue yet? It's going to go blue for Bedford. Hey, Greg. Hi, Dakota. Hey, Callum. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Vivian. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Jalen. Moderators, can you just be mindful that there is a 9-year-old in chat? So just moderate those comments until 9 p.m. for me, please. Hi, Fuzzy Mates. Hi, Spiders. Hi, Aaron. Hey, Gemma. Hi, Craig. Hi, Balfour Town. Hi, Phil. Hi, Jungle Loft. I think that's everybody. If not, we'll just say hi to everybody now. Ian.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah. All good, mate. All good. Trying to get the chat up on my phone.
Hi, Uncle Dave.
Hi, Dave. It's all been PC. Thank you, Callum. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, because the first hour of the lives on a Tuesday, we don't swear because we've got kids watching. A couple of our friends' children like to watch and all the rest of it. Then come 9 p.m, all hell breaks loose. There'll be a lot of Mickey taken out of the real beard, and the fact that the hair's not blue yet. So I think your channel's been going quite a while now, Ian.
4 years. Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, well, I haven't really done that much lately, but I'm trying to get back on it. But it's been the problem I've got with at the moment is I've changed my role at work, so it's a lot more kind of involved, and it's been a lot harder. You come home sometimes, all you want to do is just come in here, just feed the spiders and not worry about filming and stuff like that. So, but it's something I want to get back into and start producing more videos. Like I've got a few lined up already, a few recorded. It's just getting around to editing them.
So, Balfour Town, Scotty taking after Mr. Winlands with the hair. No, you need to keep up. He went green ages ago. I can't remember why, but he went green. I went blue because Steve over Tarantula Enclosures was doing an autism raffle, and I said if he got to 1,500, I'd dye my hair blue in support of the autism. Bear in mind, we've also got an autistic child in the house, mate. So that's why the blue. I mean, originally when you think of like Balfour, I always think you and Sidex as the originals. And you both will always be to me kind of, the Balfour kings and the two lads that really pushed it forward, especially for myself. So you did a Balfour video that just completely exploded, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't really expect it to. I mean, like when we'd done the original video, it was rehousing, massive, it never kind of like in that volume, it had never been kind of seen before or very little. And it got a bit of interest, and then like as the communal kind of built up and everything, it just looked amazing. And just the one video that I'd done on the feed-in it just blew off over the course of like a couple of weeks. You know, it went from the first day it hit like 1,000 views, which was like, from my channel, I didn't even have 100 subscribers at the time, I don't think, and it just went up, you know, 2,000 views, 3,000 views, and then like within the first week it hit like 50,000 views, and then it just continued to go up and up and up, and it was just unbelievable, really. It was something that I've never tried to, you know, never been able to kind of like try again, you know, to get that sort of numbers again. Unfortunately, you know, I've had a few videos that hit sort of like 20,000 views or more, but that one video was just just unreal.
What kind of kick-started you off with Balfour's in the first place?
To be honest with you, when I first saw about him, I was a bit skeptical, you know, because the thought of keeping spiders together, I was like, nah, that's not right. And then I happened
to the same for 2 years.
Yeah, I was around Graham's one time, and he showed me this communal that he bred, and they were in one of the little bra class, sort of like in the court box. So they were in one of these, like this size, the 5 litre ones, and they were just literally all over the top of it, and just watching them feed, just a whole bunch of crickets was just unreal. And then like, I started doing a bit more research on them, and you know, the love just grew and grew for him, and it's not stopped.
I mean, we've had a communal probably a couple of months now where we brought like 2 communals, luckily enough, were given to me, so we brought them both together.
Yeah.
Completely new setup for them, and then introduced them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Since that point, my love, like yours, has just exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, because I've always been kind of quite against communals. Because,
like I say, I was on the fence.
And then when you get one, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
to watch them kind of interact, and it's just something you'd never even think about. I still get comments on that video now. It's like, wow, you keep them together, don't they eat each other? It's like, no.
Well, we can't rule out the potential's always there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What would you give to? What advice would you give to somebody just looking at keeping a Balfour communal that's kind of literally maybe got a bit of experience with old worlds and the rest of it? What do you reckon kind of the key point is to keep that?
I think the thing that people go, I see a lot of comments about people saying, I never see my communal. Are they still all in there? I've had like babies that have grown up together for months and months. You don't see them, but when you rehouse them, they're all still there. Just try not to panic too much. Just feed as you would normally feed. You don't have to do anything special extra to when it comes to feeding. Just treat them as you would as if it was just one spider in there, kind of thing. Just add a few more prey items in there, and then you're good to go. Really, it's easier than you think. Definitely.
What was the amount of Balfours you kept, or the largest amount at one point as a community?
So in the communal that we had originally, there was from the egg sac there was 75 babies. When we rehoused them into that communal, we took out of that 75, 70 survived, which is an incredible number. We didn't expect that many. We put 65 into the communal, and Graham gave me 5, which I've still got two females now out of that. 2 were males, and I sold one to a friend of mine who really wanted Balfour, so he had one of the other females. So 65 went in there. When we rehoused them just before lockdown, I think it was like end of January 2020, we took out how many was it? So many mature males. I can't remember the exact number now, but we had like a communal of like 15 or so mature males just all wandering around in this one communal. Because I remember we took them to, I think it was Seas in 2020, and we sold them all there. But there was like just a communal, and they were just all mating with each other. It was quite funny to watch. But we left 20 25 females in. Oh, was it 20? Yeah, 25 females we left in the communal. And when we broke down that communal a couple of months, last month, I think it was, there was still 21 females left. So within like the 3.5 years, we'd lost sort of like 3 females. You know, you can't rule out that they were eaten, but you know, it's, you know, we don't know what happened to them. But that was still, you know, still really good number.
Do you think the enclosure size has a lot to do with how many you kind of lose, or the aggression inside there?
It's hard to say because, you know, we you know, all the times that we done feeding sessions or anything like that, you never saw like any aggression at all. You know, there was no sign of any cannibalism. It's, you know, so we can't say for sure what happened to them, you know, but you know, we'd never witnessed anything like that. You know, I've known of a couple of incidences, not with any of my communals. I've never witnessed any cannibalism in mine, but I've seen it in other people's. Why that happens is still unknown, really. It's you know, unless I know exactly how they were kept or anything like that, I can't come to any conclusions. So.
Balfour et al. Said they've got a communal of 130. Balfour in aggression shouldn't share the same sentence. I don't know. I've seen. Well, I say seen.
I've seen food and stuff like that, but I've never seen no real kind of fights or anything like that. You know, like, you know, sometimes they'll want the same cricket or something like that, but other than that, I've never.
When I watch mine and they interact with each other, like you said, and sometimes they will chase each other, but it doesn't seem to be aggression when they're chasing each other. It looks almost playful.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. I have noticed
really,
some kind of like some dominance, like an alpha in the communals. I think
kind of a pack formation. You mean?
Yeah. I've seen. I've known a couple of other people kind of touch on that subject as well, and I've seen something quite similar. You know, like there was one where one was out and one kind of like went up to it, tapped it, and it kind of like protruded back into its burrow, or you know, things like that. It's is it that sort of dominance or what? I don't know, but you know, it does certainly seem that way.
I suppose we're kind of led by information on the internet and what have you to kind of think that spiders, they want to chill out, they want to defend their burrow, they want to feed, they want to make out with another spider, and that's it.
Yeah.
But when you watch Balfour's, there just seems to be more and more characteristics that need to be added into that mix.
Yeah.
When I watch mine, and it's hard to remember that these guys are actually old world because how soft and gentle they are blows my mind every single time, even with feeding. They don't seem to be aggressive towards each other when there's food in there, or if one gets a prey item and one doesn't, there doesn't seem to be any squabbling, if you like. It's probably better word than defensive. They just seem to be really, really gentle spiders.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I've noticed the same. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, I find I get more kind of defensive behaviour from my solo females than I do the ones in the communal for some reason. You know, whether that's because they're on their own or what, I don't know. But you know, I have kind of witnessed that for myself. That's for sure.
Do you think that's because a female, like you said, it is used to being on her own, and maybe she set up that territory in that larger space by herself?
Yeah,
she just takes on a different mentality.
Yeah, that could be the reason. Absolutely, yeah.
Dave said the same. He says his single females are more defensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you been breeding Balfours as well then?
Yeah, I've bred them a few times. So I've got a sack in this one, so babies all in there. And I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I've got one here that's got babies as well. The one in there, she had a sack, but I don't think it was any good because she ended up destroying it. It was her first ever actually laid, so whether that had something to do with it, I'm not too sure. But I've got these 5 enclosures all going down here. They've got all solo females in. This one here, I've got 6 adult females in. Then I've got one up here that's got about 15 or so juveniles that are bred. These were the first lot I bred back in 2020. And then over the back there, I ain't got the light on actually, but there's my bigger communal. That's kind of like a 2.5 foot viv. That's got about 25 or so in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Balfour Town, I don't know who they are, so I can't tell you who it is exactly, but they said they've had 3 of yours and Graham's Balfour is off. You bought them, and then they've had egg sacs from those as well, because obviously you and Graham work quite closely with RB Breedings, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're really good friends, and we're local to each other as well, which is really good. You know, I've got actually picked it up the other day. Got a P Metallica mature male here, so I've got 2 females. So we're going to do some breeding projects on those. We've done. I cover quite a lot of his breeding projects on my channel as well, which is good to give him a bit of publicity.
I was just about to say Bratmar Breedings. I think you've been at. I remember him from literally when I started going to the shows. I remember you guys. Always remember you both being, well, you are both really, really friendly, approachable guys. And when you're on a stand, you can tell it's not just, selling spiders that you guys are about.
Absolutely. That comes second to the shows, I think. It's like, it's meeting everybody, giving people the information and stuff like that. It's like, speaking to people that you see, you speak to in the groups online, things like that. That's kind of like what I enjoy the most over kind of selling, really.
Have you guys got a website, or is it just purely?
No, it's just on Facebook at the moment. Yeah, we haven't really. We've had a good year this year so far. We haven't really got kind of like enough stock to warrant making a website just yet. It's something we want to do, definitely. 'Cause I've got the knowledge. I work in e-commerce for a living, so that's my job. And we've done the numbers and everything, and it just at the moment it's just not feasible to run a website and do it. So we just do sort of like dealings through mainly the shows and through people through the groups and stuff. So it does all right so far. But when we do get a website going, then that's hopefully that'll be taken off even more. So yeah, that'd be.
So if somebody was watching, what would they do? Contact you via Facebook? Is there a page or?
Yeah, so Graham's got his page. I've got my own page as well. So it's Ian Tarantula with 2 R's.
Could one of the moderators drop that down into the comments, please?
See if I can get the link.
That would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And then obviously, most places are called like, you've got the spider shop, you've got Spar Spiders because that's where they come from. Then other people name their shops after their names. Where does the Bratmar breeding come from?
I think Graham come up with that one. I think it's because it's his favourite spider, the Haplopalma or Cirripagabus species Bratmar. That's his like all-time spider, and it's one that he's been wanting to breed for a long time. And this year he's finally managed to do it. And so that's just the name he come up with, really. And I've kept my kind of names separate. My name. Ian Tarantula, my second name's Tarrant, like Tarrant, so it's just kind of rolls off the tongue, and it's quite fitting, really. So that's where my name kind of come from. What we do when we do a website, I'm not too sure yet. We haven't kind of really decided, but we'll probably keep it at Bratmar Breedings and just have my name associated with it as well, or something like that.
I think, well, for me, I know Bratmar Breedings is you and Graham, and then I know Ian Tarantula is your channel.
Yeah.
So I think that would definitely work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you doing Bedfordshire?
No. I'm going on holiday this Thursday and flying out to Kefalonia. So, I'm back that weekend, but it's just going to be too much to do. So unfortunately, I'm not at that one. I'm going to be at the Coventry show, more than likely. Probably not trading, so I'll probably just go up for the crack. Whether Graham comes, I'm not too sure because he broke his foot just before the Bristol show, so he's been on crutches and everything. So he come off his motorbike. So whether he's coming, I'm not too sure yet. I haven't really spoke to him about it, but yeah, we're doing the Brighton show. Definitely, we'll be there trading at that one. I think that's it for this year. We'll be doing just the Brighton one.
I know. I think there's they've just put another one on, haven't they? There's the Entomological Society on the 1st of October.
Yeah, I can't make that one, unfortunately. I'm working, so
it's a bit too much, I think, because you've got one on the 25th of September, one on the 9th of October, and then it's like that one as well.
One in between, so it'll be like 3 weeks running. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money for people as well, especially like prices of fuel at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do the spiders do for you apart from the Balfouri?
Well, Balfouri aren't really my favourite spider, to be fair. Like, I love my baboons. I've got King Baboon. I've got the H. gigas. I've got what else have I got? My favourite's the H. pulchripes, so the golden blue leg baboon. That's my favourite spider. I bred her last year, which was nice. I've paired her up again this year. See what happens. I've got a OBT which I've paired. She's looking quite gravid at the moment. I haven't checked on her for a couple of days, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. She looks like she's going to drop any time. I've got a few horned baboons. So I've got the Darlingi and the Mashali, Ceratogyris. But then I love my pokies as well. So I've got quite a few pokies like on the top shelf.
I think I say it every Tuesday. I think everybody loves a good pokey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it was one of my pokies that won me an award at the BTS, so can't not love them too much. So
Was that this year? Was it or?
Yeah. So I've got the So one.
Hold on, you don't want to...
So that was at the BTS show this year.
So that's the best pokey award.
Best Asian. So that was Tigrina Waselli. So yeah, she's lovely. She's absolutely beautiful.
I mean that is some achievement.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I never thought I'd win it, but yeah, I mean, being biased, I thought she was the best. So what else have I got? So I've got crikey. I like my Avics as well, so don't hate on me for that.
I think the whole jokes around the Avics and the Carabiner, I think that's very old school now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think the hobby's come forward to realise that they are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my Avics was one of my first spiders I had, and I managed to breed it this year, which was it's really nice to be able to do that. And I've still got a few of those babies which should be going at the show. But yeah, no, I love them. I think they're brilliant. Yeah,
and again, if you want a stunning arboreal spider without touching onto the old worlds, you can't go wrong with an Avic.
Oh, definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Again, such a gentle kind of minded spider as well.
Yeah. I like my Brachypalmas as well, so I've got a few of those. What else have I got? A mix of all sorts, really. So
it's good to hear like an established breeder and hobbyist kind of going, I actually keep.
Yeah. Well, I won't go as far as established. I've bred a few, but it'd be nice to. You look at some of these guys like Martin Lees. He's bred like nearly 100 species now. Absolutely nowhere near that. But got to start somewhere, haven't we?
I think Martin Lees is. If we can get that man to write a paper at the BTS, that's going to be very interesting. But again, he's another one of these guys that won't hold any information back. We'll literally just go, well, this is how I did it.
Yeah.
Has he ever told you about the tissue paper dangling for the arboreals?
Yes.
No. He got strips of tissue paper and dangled it down from the top of the enclosure so the arboreal slings could go and web up.
Okay,
Tissue, and then they can molt pretty well in there.
Right,
that type of information, I think, are just absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. It is nice when you get the breeders that do give out the information, you know, because what with Brexit and everything, it's harder to import, and you know, need as many people breeding as we can really to keep the hobby going, you know, because it's so expensive to get them from Europe now. It's you know, few and far between.
Yeah, it's the catch-22, isn't it? We need a sustainable stock from captive breeding, but then we also need that wild caught to come in the country as well. Otherwise, the DNA pool is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and we're going to end up with the mess like with the curly hairs and the vegans. And now there's talk of the regalis being the same situation as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because I know a lot of people watching are probably going to say, you know, no, I only keep captive bred, all the rest of it. But it took a little while for myself even to realise the importance of having wild caught come into the hobby as well.
Definitely, yeah. No, it's you know, don't get me wrong. Is you know, I'd like to keep as many captive bred as I can, but I know for a fact that I've got a few wild caught specimens in my collection. Does it bother me? No, not really. But, you know, as long as they're legally collected, you know, and they're not brown boxed into the country, then I don't particularly have an issue, you know, with that. You know, that's you know, the one thing is obviously, you know, there's a difference between legally collecting them and illegally.
Massive, yeah, massive.
It's yeah, no, I don't really have any issues too much with it.
I think maybe with the Brexit, maybe that's done the wild caught brown boxing stuff you know, a favour really, because it's gonna cut down their potential by at least 50% surely as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Like 8 legs 4 wheels just says that's the most important thing. We need legal and sustainable wild caught.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, because I know there's some really good programs. You know, South America. You've got Jose. Is it Jose Mendez? I think that's his name. I can't remember his name now. But it's Mendoza, isn't it? He does the captive breeding brachypalmas, so they will collect the females from the wild, breed them, then release them back with, you know, like a percentage of the babies. I know a guy from California, Wilderness Nate. I don't know if you've heard of him in any of the groups. He does a lot of that with like a lot of the Aphanopalmas in sort of like California region. So he will breed the Aphanopalmas and put 50% back to the wild, and then sell the other 50%. Yeah, so it's
that's new to me, and quite comforting to know that as well as.
Yeah, I think it is named Wilderness Native. I think it's Micro Wilderness. I think it is. Yeah, it's like an American breeder. Yeah, no, he does a lot of that. And he does some really good work as well.
I say because it's more important to actually have the male and the female caught from the wild, breed, and then the offspring put back into the wild, than it is for us at home to go, well, we can do that because I've got a male and female of that species. We can breed those, the babies, and then can go back into the wild. But again, if you know, we don't know how strong the genes are with the ones.
Exactly. Yeah. That's unfortunately, that's something that would probably never happen. You know, because you look at a lot of these, especially a lot of scientists, you know, they regard all of our stock as like hobby stock, which is not, you know, it's not guaranteed that it's still pure. So they'd never do anything like that. It would need to be collected from a specific area and put back in that specific area. It's it's something that would, unfortunately, you know, as much as like we'd love to do that, it's just not going to happen.
What made you get into spiders in the first place, Ian? How did you? Where did the love come from?
I've always been interested in weird kind of stuff. You know, like back in, I think it was 1994, 95, when I was at school. I got an iguana, a green iguana, as a pet, and I've always been into kind of weird animals, and I was never able to keep spiders or anything like that. But when I got married, had kids, I had to sadly rehomed the iguana because of the space. I had a daughter born, so unfortunately priorities took it over there. Things happened with my marriage, broke down, and now I can built this shed, and I've got a shed full of exotic animals. Like loads of spiders. I've got snakes in here. I've got geckos, crested geckos, but they're in the house at the moment because they're breeding. So but yeah, I've always been into the spiders. I've always loved spiders. Like when I see them in the house, I always pick them up, take pictures of them, and let them go outside and stuff like that. But, it's been nice the last sort of like four and a bit years I've been able to keep them myself.
Couple of comments saying your shed's looking good.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's still not finished, but I've got a lot of work to go. I've obviously it's not cheap. The cost of electricity and everything to heat it and it has gone up. But I've got a few kind of ideas on what I'm going to do for that. I've invested in some solar panels, so I'm going to see how kind of that route goes and try and eventually I'd love to be able to make this like off the grid, so that it doesn't have anything coming in from the house. But I think that's a little bit away yet from what I've got. But once I come back off my holiday, I'll be getting that and doing a video on putting the solar power into here, even if just for now it kind of powers all the lights and the UV stuff for the for the snakes and the plants and stuff.
Greg's just give it the elbow. He said I think he wants to nip over and come and say hello because he said he forgot how close you guys live together.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, I think he just lives about half hour away from me. Greg does. Yeah.
Did you build the shed yourself, or did you?
Yeah, all myself. Yeah, literally, like because my back garden's on a slope, so I had to like level the garden, done all the footings, all the concrete. I had to build a little retaining wall along the back. The only bit I had a bit of help of was actually putting the shed together with a mate of mine. But pretty much everything else I've done myself.
So let's say the concrete plinth was already there, the retaining wall was already there, and all you had to do was get the shed, the insulation, the lighting, and the heating. How much do you reckon it will cost? If somebody like myself is thinking, well, when I move house, I just want to get a shed and go, right, I'm going to build it myself, insulate it, and then obviously heat it up as well, and what have you. What do you reckon the start-up cost is on a shed of your size?
Well, my shed is a 6 foot by 12 foot, so it's quite a large one. That cost me it's about £900. All the insulation, I've kind of skimped a bit on that, so I've just used a lot of the aluminium foil, and I've done like OSB boards on the walls. So I haven't done the ceilings or anything yet. That would have been probably about another 400 quid. Then I just managed to get some cheap lights from Homebase just to do that, and some sort of like cheap LEDs to go around the sides. Just got them off of Amazon, kind of like I think they're about 15 quid. The racking I just got again from Homebase. I think they were like £20 each or something like that, and it's just all the enclosures really. It's like so it probably cost me all in. It probably cost me about 1,500 quid or just over to get all this done.
See, for me, the insulation is probably going to be the cheapest bit for me because my mate works on the building site and he said to me, "Don't worry about that part. We've got that covered." But the concerning thing for me would be like, I suppose it'd be the same in the house. I mean, when we were hitting those temperatures of sort of 45, 40 degrees, how are you managing to get those temperatures in your shed down again? Did you worry much while you're at work, or did you manage to get those days off?
A bit worried, yeah. So I put some vents up in, and I've got some little like computer fans. So they were kind of like each end. They were kind of sucking the hot air out each way. I just had an oscillating fan going in here. My missus was working kind of like not from home, but she would be able to pop home like open the door so that I let some of the heat out. I think the hottest it got in here was 38 degrees. But I was quite fortunate that I didn't lose anything. But next year, hopefully, what I'm gonna do with the solar power and everything, I'm just gonna get like a little AC unit that'll just run literally off the solar. And, that'll help. Hopefully, fingers crossed, keep it a bit cooler. But no, I was didn't lose anything from the heat.
I think I lost a couple of slings, but that could have been just down to the fact that you lose slings every now and again.
Yeah.
Because I think in here it got up to the high 30s when we were looking at 44, 45 outside. But then again, I kind of think, well, the spiders are kind of should be geared up for that type of temperature, really.
Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of them are. Yeah, so like the ones that probably prefer a little bit kind of like cooler temperatures, I put to the lower levels in the racking, because it obviously where the heat rises, and it was a lot hotter up higher than it was towards the floor. So you're looking at the floor, you're probably looking about 30 degrees roughly. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. But no, it wasn't. Apart from working in here, doing the feeding and the watering and everything, that was just unbearable for myself. But, it seemed like the spiders were loving it, really.
I'm always in t-shirt and shorts, or if I ain't got the camera out and I'm just watching a live or something while I'm feeding, then I'm normally in here in just my boxer shorts, because why not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm the same. To be fair, like I've got shorts on now, and I'm
a bit of a fat bloke, so I'm already wearing a coat. You know what I
mean? Yeah. But generally, I'm in here usually every Tuesday anyway. Like I've usually got the laptop going. Most of the time I've got you sort of like with whoever you've got on that week. I don't usually comment too much because I'm usually busy like doing all the feeds and everything. So, but I try to comment when I can, kind of thing. But yeah, that again, it's when it gets a bit warm, it's down to the undercruddies.
Dave just said the same thing. Really, he said the high temps shouldn't bother the tarantulas. It's not a direct heat.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was moving air as well, where the fan was oscillating all the time. The air was moving in here, so it wasn't like stagnant hot air. So that was probably definitely well.
Could one of the moderators pop Ian's channel link into the comments as well, please? Just so if anybody's interested, they can pop over and go check his channel out, especially the Balfouri videos, because they're some of the best on YouTube. So how did you and Graham meet, and how did you get together and go, do you know what, let's breed some spiders, let's get a table, and away we go?
So I met him through my cousin. So my cousin kept all he kept was pokies. He just was fascinated by them. And when I started keeping them as well, there was like a group, like a Facebook group chat, which was literally just people from Southampton, or in the local area. So there was myself, my cousin, there was Graham, his mate Tim, who used to do a lot of the videos with us and everything. I think I've done the Balfouri bee houses with us. There was, who else was there? Comet, who used to have tarantulas online. So he lived just down the road. He was in the group. We just met through that, really. And then I think it was 2018. 2018 that was. And then I met him for the first time at 2019, the Seas show, because he was at the Southern Invert show in 2018, which was one of my first shows I went to. I didn't know him then, but I remember seeing him on the tables. I think one of my videos walking around, I kind of like got a glimpse of the table, but I didn't know who he was at the time. So we kind of met through that, and then it's just gone from there, really, gone from strength to strength. And
the Seas, I went to Seas for the first time this year, and it was, my first show that I ever went to was BTS.
Yeah,
and obviously I've been to a lot of the others, but Seas shocked me to how good it actually is, because I didn't think it was going to be so good.
Yeah.
and then to see it split out, I think it was across, was it 3 rooms?
Yeah, 3 rooms. Yeah.
And to see so many sellers there as well, it was just like, wow,
Yeah,
incredible just to be there.
It used to be a lot better, like the year before COVID and the year before that, before Brexit. You had all the European dealers coming over, and there were so many more dealers there with totally just some unreal species. And I think these don't know if I can grab one down. Sorry, Spider.
I still chat to, remember Fat Bob's Exotics?
Yeah, I still speak to him. Yeah,
and he's absolutely good. He can't
just the front sliding. I got them for I think these were.
Hold on.
So these were I think they were £14 each.
Yes.
So 12 or 14 quid each. So me and my cousin, we just literally filled the car up with them, just as many as we could. And I think I've got about 14 of them now. So it's just a shame I can't get them anymore, because I would have literally filled this whole racking up with them. But yeah, they are really nice,
especially at that price.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're not going to see them at that price now.
No. I think Lee from the Spider Shop, he imports them now, but obviously you're not going to get them kind of at that price. I think the last time you would have got them quite cheap was when Tropical Factory had them, but he doesn't do them anymore, sadly, either. So
I think he stopped completely now.
Yeah, he's
seen him at IHS Doncaster.
Yeah, he does the I saw him at the last Doncaster one. He was there, but he mainly sort of had spiders and just a few sort of what he had left of enclosures and stuff. But yeah, he's pretty much out of the game now.
I think the spiders were CFTN stock, from what I remember. To be honest,
yeah, it probably was. Yeah, he's quite. Yeah, he's quite close with Rad, isn't he? So. I know. What was his name? I can't remember his bloody name now.
Seas was where the hobby changed for me. I don't know many people in the hobby, so shows were about the inverts met Scott, Callum, Robbie, and Annie, and it became about the community. Says Steve.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you say, it's just you see, you're in all these groups, you're seeing people post all the time, and it's just nice to put some faces to the names, kind of thing. And it's and have a chat. I met Steve a couple of times now. I met him at the Doncaster show this year, and at Bristol as well, I think it was.
Steve W.
Yeah.
It's
nice to meet him. I spoke to him through some of the YouTube chats and stuff like that before, and so it was actually nice to meet him. And again, like everybody, yourself, I've met you a few times, and everyone else that does YouTube. It's it's nice to grab some pictures and have a proper chat rather than.
It is. It's the shows are just something else, because you keep spiders. You might be the weirdo that keeps spiders in your own street, even amongst your friends. You could be the only one, or there might be 2 or 3 of you. And then when you go to a show, it's like we're all there. All the weirdos have come together to buy and sell spiders.
Weirdos together, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's epic.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, it's just I could go to every one I could. It's just obviously the finances are a bit, especially with the fuel costs and everything. It's just a nightmare at the moment. But
so for anybody that's watching, when we're speaking about Brackmore Breedings, Graham is Ian's partner in that, and Graham is an incredibly knowledgeable guy on spiders, just as much so as what Ian is, and he is another fantastic character. So if you do see them at shows, go say hello. So if you've been keeping spiders since the mid 90s, with the short break with the marriage situation, what changes or significant changes have you seen within your own personal kind of hobby?
Definitely a lot more information now. 100%. You know, back then you didn't have the internet. Everything was just from, you know, a lot of the information you got was from the pet shop that sold it to you, kind of thing. You know, if I look back now at the way kind of, you know, I was keeping back then, I'll be like, what the hell are you doing, kind of thing. It's you know, the information nowadays it's just everywhere, isn't it? You know, it's like you only have to put it into Google and it's pages and pages of information.
It's a double-edged sword, I think, because for a lot of species there's a ton of information, but then suddenly a new species comes out, it's advertised across all the platforms where all the information is as well as, but then you Google it and there's nothing there. I do think maybe the people that are selling the newer spiders or the newer discovered spiders, I think they need to take on a responsibility of putting information about that spider on their websites as well as.
Yeah,
because I get questions, and I suppose you do as well, about a spider that's like only just been discovered and somebody's got one, and you're like, well, I've never actually heard of this species before. I couldn't even tell you the country of origin. But looking at the genus name, we can go from there, type of thing.
Yeah, generally that's, you know, like there's not many species that in the same genus that require like completely different requirements in like husbandry or anything like that. So, you know, you've got kind of an idea. You know, the best thing you can try and do is look at, if you know where the spiders come, you know, the origin, where it's come from, check in, you know, temperatures, yearly temperatures, you know, the amount of rainfall that they get each year. So, you know, is it going to be like a high humidity spot, you know, kept spider, or is it one that's a bit more arid? Things like that, really. It's, you know, there's like I say, there is limited information on the newest discovered species, but, you know, you can, like you say, you can kind of get a bit of an idea of where what you need to make them thrive.
So if it's a new species and it comes from a certain country, you kind of think to yourself, well, it's not going to be in the cities, it's going to be a bit further afield. So what's that habitat like outside of the cities? What's the temperature like? Do they have a monsoon season? And generally you can kind of put together your own picture. If it's a straightforward boreal setup, and then you've only got to worry about humidity and temperatures. Because, I mean, you know yourself, an arboreal straightforward setup, terrestrial is a straightforward setup, and so is a fossorial, really. So then the only worries that you've got is substrate changes, maybe, but more so the temperatures and the humidities. And generally, temperatures across the board seem to be very, very similar across all genuses, really.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, some can tolerate cooler temperatures than others, probably. To be honest with you, I don't think, you know, from the research that I've done, a lot of the spiders can do a lot cooler temperatures than a lot of people think. You know, like a lot of people move into the spider hobby coming from the reptile hobby, where a lot of those require higher temperatures, being cold-blooded. But the thing that I've noticed myself through keeping, especially being in the shed through the winter last winter where it got quite cold, you know, the temperatures got down to sort of like 14-15 degrees in the shed with the heating that I've got. Everything was fine. You know, you might find that the metabolism slowed down, they might not eat so much, but in regards to their health and everything was fine, you know. That's something that I've noticed through doing this experiment, really, you know, because I wouldn't have ever thought 4 years ago that I'd have a shed in the garden with all these spiders in. Never in a million years did I, you know, but it's something I've kind of got used to now, and I'm not, you know, coming into this winter, I'm kind of bit more prepared, and I'm not so worried, you know. Like I was constantly like, because I've got like Bluetooth thermometers in here, like checking the temperatures all the time, and worried that it was getting too cold. And this year it's like, well, it'll be fine.
I suppose spiders that like, especially the ones that come from the monsoon countries, their temperatures in the rains have got to drop significantly because of the amount of water that passes through their system.
Yeah, and you look at some of the like the Aphanopalmas and a lot of the South American species, they get down to freezing temperatures at night times. And I've spoken to numerous people that have been out in the winter in some of these parts of like Arizona and stuff like that, and it's it's near 0 degrees, and you've got the mature males out wandering. It's like,
what? Oh, wow.
that's that says it all, doesn't it?
So you always expect to see like saying an Arizona desert, let's say, to be exceptionally hot because you've got the word desert there. But on the flip side of that, at night time it's exceptionally cold as well.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I suppose if you're watching kind of desert programs and stuff like that, it always shows you the bright sun in the day, and then you don't see much about the night time at all.
It's a few. I remember seeing a few of them like that happen. Literally it goes from one extreme down to the other. As soon as that sun goes down, the temperatures just plummet.
Dave says sometimes temperature changes can be beneficial to the spiders,
especially when it comes to breeding certain species as well. You've got to cool them down. Even a lot of pokies, they require a cooler period. I've been doing because the one that I want to do is the Metallicas. That's my goal. She's been my absolute nemesis so far. She's molted out numerous times, and I'm planning on this year. I've got the male. I'm going to put him in there. I might even put him in there tomorrow over my holiday because they cohab really well, and let the shed cool down over the winter and then raise it back up in the spring. And a lot of people said, sort of like after 8 months of that, the best results for pokey. So that's what I'm doing this year.
So it's 9 p.m. So if you've got children watching, probably best to remove that room.
Yeah, I can tell it's 9 p.m.
Because we do allow swearing, adult conversation, and no doubt the comments will blow up with pure and utter Mickey taking over. So just bear that in mind. So Jalen, if you're watching, turn it off. If not, I shall message your mother. He lives literally just up the road, does Jalen?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Moist.
Yeah, it's Moister Clark. The comments have already blown up with the typical.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm not going to read them out tonight.
That's a wanker.
Oh, cheers, Vivian.
Oh, now I've got my bloody Facebook working. I don't know why the internet.
Chris is here on wheels. Says Ian, we do need a birdie.
Oh, what? Sorry.
A birdie.
A birdie. There we go.
Which I think that's just going to become a Scott's Inverts live staple now, is the birdie. All the guests are going to have to do one.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because me and my mate at work, we do it all the time. That's how we greet each other every day. It's like, there you go, have some of that.
When you first meet somebody, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, name's Scott, yeah, you're right. And then if you get good mates, you see him down the street, and it's, oh, yeah, dickhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even think that's just an English thing. I think that's just across the board. Rad does it for me at shows. He looks at me and says, Tasker, you bastard. And I'm like, what have I done now?
Brilliant, yeah.
Oh, Mark, the Spider guy's in chat. Hi, Mark. We didn't, because Mark's not been very well over the weekend, so we didn't know if he was going to make it tonight or he'd be resting up. So I hope you're feeling a lot better, bro.
I'm glad to hear he's doing all right.
What's been your most challenging breed so far, if you like? Has it been the Metallica or?
Yeah, pokies in general, really. Yeah, I've tried breeding her a few times. My Regalis as well. I've got as far as an egg sack, but unfortunately the egg sack was no good. But again, like that was third time of breeding her just to get the sack. So yeah, I'm gonna let her molt out again this winter and try again next year with her. I've actually got a mature male Sagrina Waselli, so the female that won me the award at the show. They're going to be paired up. Probably now when I get back on holiday.
I've been I've paired Regalis. She was looking fat, drenched her to hopefully get that egg sac to pop out. About 4 weeks later, she molted.
Yeah.
The Metallica, the female, she molted 2 weeks later. I was like, right, the male's ready to go. Cooled her down, everything else, put him in there, and he was in there with her for literally just over 2 months before I took him out to rest him and what have you. 6 months later, she was looking fat, and I was thinking, oh, here we go. And she molted out. My Frittata, I've paired her up a little while ago. She's looking quite chunky now, but she does the typical, just goes and disappears and webs up her hide, and then she'll come back out again, and then she'll go back in and web it up again. And, so now I've left quite a few dubias running around. So she thinks, oh, there's quite a lot of food there. Maybe that might stimulate her into webbing up and dropping the sack. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just trial and error on a lot of it, isn't it? Definitely. But, yeah, I've just had no luck with pokies yet. It's just I will crack it, definitely. I've got I've got my Onata paired up. I've got a male at the BTS. Typically she ate him on the first night. So whether they did do anything, I'm not too sure. But she's come out with males before loads of times, and I was confident leaving him in there and everything, and come into the shed the next day and she's there with legs hanging out of her mouth.
Looking really pleased with herself.
Yeah, look what I've done. Yeah.
What I've noticed with pokies, I don't know if you did as well, but the times when I've actually caught them pairing, it's very, very quick. They always seem to be like, bump, done.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple of hours later, come back.
Yeah, the first time I paired out, it was literally wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. No, it was gone kind of thing, and that was it.
Just to rub salt in the wounds, Dave's got a Metallica that's on a sack at the moment.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we should start the trend up. Dave's a wanker in the chat and all.
Well done, Dave. It's nice. Yeah, he's not the first time you bred him as well, is it? So yeah, you have to just send me some tips, mate. Definitely.
Is it just the geckos that you got breeding reptile wise, or you got?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. It's the first time I've ever tried it, really. So and I've got 2 eggs so far. They produce eggs sort of like every 30 days. So this is the first time. It was beginning of last week, I think it was. Laid the first 2 eggs. So in about another 3 weeks, you'll probably lay another 2.
What's the incubation period in the eggs?
It varies. It depends what temperatures you keep them at. But I'm keeping them at room temperature, so it's about 23 in there. They say around about 70 days. So
does the temperature determine sex with those ones as well?
Apparently it does as well. Yeah. So I can't remember which way round it is. I think it's the hotter you keep them, you get more males. I think it is. I can't remember now which way round it is, but yeah, if you keep them warmer, then you can get a specific sex from them. It's weird how that works, isn't it? But
it really is, because you think if a female paired, if a first pairing was females and the second one were males, you'd kind of think, yeah, I get that. Do you know what I mean? But if there's a season where it's warmer and they produce males, a season where it's cooler where it produces females, I'm kind of struggling to kind of find the reason to why.
Yeah, no, it's really strange, especially when it comes to just egg development. Egg development, that's got absolutely nothing to do with how the female was paired or anything like that. It's it's just really strange.
Because obviously with the spiders, if a female lays an egg sac, the brothers and the sisters mature at completely different years, so they shouldn't really be able to pair up with one another. But with the reptiles, I can't see what the pros and the cons would be of having that increased temperature producing males. If Phil is in chat, Incredible Inverts and Other Animals, he may know.
Yeah, he'd probably be one that might.
And if he's not, if somebody could just drop him a quick message, I'd be really appreciative. Possibly with that in the wild, Scott, it's a variability
in time of the season they lay. Yeah, because obviously there's going to be fluctuations over the time because I can't remember how many times they lay, but it's like every 30 days for so long. So the temperature could be completely different.
Just give me 2 seconds because I've got to put my laptop on charge.
Yeah.
I forgot to put it on charge because I was rushing.
So look at the chat. So Jenny Warburton, can big tarantulas eat pinkies? Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't recommend it as their main diet. I've fed my Goliath birdie a wrap up before, but she's only ever had one. There's so much people say about too much calcium, but a lot of spiders in the wild, that's rodents are one of their main dietary. So I don't think it affects them as much as some people say. But yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't just feed mice to your spiders.
Balfouri Town has just become a channel member. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Was that on about pinkies with spiders?
Yeah.
A lot of the breeders will say pinkies, Night Moon are a great feeder for especially like slings. And if you think about the moisture content of a pinky as well, it's quite high. So if you're looking at feeding to get water into slings, pinkies are a good possibility. Plus the added bonus is if it doesn't eat it, it will burrow down, become a catalyst, and then it will pop out to be a fly, which your pinky can have anyway. Your spider can have anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Lewis.
Like I was just saying, just as you were doing your charger off, like one time one of my snakes didn't eat, so it was just a little wrap up which I gave to my tea stand.
Pink is in mice pinkies. I thought you meant like maggot pinkies.
Oh, unless they were on about that, I just thought that could be right.
So pinkies from a fishing tackle shop, the little maggots, they're completely fine.
The maggots from there. Sorry, yeah.
Pinkies, as in mice, the spiders. It has been done, but as Ian was saying, it's probably not the best diet to be giving them time after time after time after time. I don't think the calcium issue's been proved yet. Increasing calcium, making it difficult for them to be molt. But that's not to say, it doesn't, because. Hold on 1 second. Oh, so Phil's now been. I think Phil's in the chat. If you're around, Phil, we were talking about the temperatures with certain reptiles, and when those temperatures increase, when they've got the eggs, the eggs will then be male, or if they're a bit cooler, be female. And we kind of just couldn't work out why, and we're hoping Phil the zookeeper would know. Yeah, I mean, when you look at Goliath bird eating spiders, a lot of YouTube shorts are like a Goliath bird eating spider eating a mouse or a pinky, or even baby snakes. I don't really see it being any benefit to the spider.
Just a good meal, really. Yeah.
Um,
Like I say, I don't make a habit of it. You know, if one of the snakes don't eat, I know the T Stanley will. So, she's, you know, well, it's actually a male. Yeah, he's had a rat pup. That was literally all he ate between one molt cycle. But like I say, yeah, I wouldn't have it as a main diet for them. Just a treat every now and again, just for like your bigger spiders. Really, I wouldn't like go out and buy a whole bunch of pinkies just to feed your spiders. Definitely not.
It'd be expensive. I mean, they're a cheap feeder for snakes, but if you're looking at this feeding your spiders with them, then obviously that's going to be
yeah.
Balfour Town. I got into spiders 15 years ago from an autistic student I looked after. He fed pinkies to his apophysis. See, I've got pinkies, and I tell you what does like a pinky, and that's a centipede. A centipede loves a pinky. Oh my god, my Dahani. If I put a pinky in there and it's down in the substrate, within about 20 to 30 minutes, it's out of the substrate and it's got it. I personally think centipedes must be able to smell them, surely, or something.
Yeah, those receptors they've got. I can imagine. Yeah, definitely. 25 years ago, JG's Cats and Things got in tarantulas 25 years ago. Nice.
Jackie's lovely. Jackie's smashed your channel link out a few times tonight. Centipede Short says yes, they can. Nice one, do appreciate that. Yeah, with centipedes as well as the mice. The chunks of meat, chunks of vegetables as well. If you've ever got like a water dish and you watch a centipede drink water, it can drink a lot. It really is surprising.
Yeah. I've never kept them before, so.
But have you ever got into any of the inverts apart from the spiders?
So I've got a couple of mantids. I've got an orchid and a giant Asian. What else have I got? I've got an Asian forest scorpion at the moment. That's it really. Just my cockroach colony. Dubias. That's pretty much it.
What haven't you got that you want?
What haven't I got that I want?
Oh, hold on. Let me just read because Phil's just popped it in. Going back to the eggs with the temperature increase and decreases. He says, depends a lot on the species. Not all are temperature sex determined. The ones that are often cooler are female, warmer male. Then in the middle or sometime even warmer, you get a mix of the sexes. Phil, we're trying to work out to when it is warmer, you get those more males with some species, and when it's cooler, you get some extra females. Kind of why that would happen? Why that would?
Yeah, what causes the egg to determine the temperature, determine the egg to make sex? It's something I've known about that, but I've never kind of like looked into why that happens. It's really.
Got a question. Channel member 1, Balfour Tower says, Ian, have you ever lost a tarantula and never found it?
I've never lost one and never found it. I've lost some and then found them. So this was probably within the first sort of like year I had a juvenile Cochiana brunipes. I was rehousing it and I was trying to be a bit cocky, just tipping it over from one to the other, just a poke and pray kind of thing. And it ended up bolting out of the enclosure onto the kitchen floor and under the kitchen units. And I took all the plimps out. I had the torch. I just could not find this thing for the life of me. Mrs. was going absolutely ape shit. About 3 months later, I got a message at work. She goes, I think I found your spider. Her son was in the kitchen. And he's absolutely petrified of spiders. You know, like it took a bit of convincing for me to keep them, saying, they would never get out. You know, they're all in locked enclosures. And then he kind of like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Never told him that it escaped. And he was in the kitchen cooking some food, and my missus walks in and saw the spider on the floor, and she was like, "Oh, there's a bee on the floor." So she got some tissue, picked it up in the tissue, and put it in a pot. And luckily, he didn't see that it was one of the spiders. But yeah, so that was a close call, that was. And the spider survived. It was a bit dehydrated, I think, which is why it probably come out from under the units. But I managed to kind of rehydrate it, and he lived, and then he matured out. That was a few years ago now. But other than that, I had, coming back from one of the shows, I've got these pots that I keep some of the spiders in. I had them kind of stacked up on one of the shelves, and somehow it managed to tip them over. And I come into the shed one day, and I saw this pot with the lid open on the floor, and dirt everywhere. And I was like, "Oh shit!" It was one of my sort of like juvenile salmon pink bird eaters. But, I managed to use under one of that. You can't get out of the shed because it's totally sealed. See, so he was just under one of the racks, so I managed to grab him. But yeah, other than that, I've never lost one and never found.
You see me? I've done the same thing. You get your tarantula pot, and then you get a bigger one, and you take the lids off, and you just go like that, and it goes for a run, and you think, "Fuck's sake!" And then you think, "I ain't even got a fucking catch cup," but eventually you find it, and then you find yourself 2 weeks later doing exactly the same thing.
Absolutely. I'm always doing it. And I'm kind of like told myself now, right, you've got to be a bit more careful. But I've got some bigger spiders which I know would most likely not bolt. I've got a mature male up there. He's a Grammostola pulchripes. He's quite placid actually. He'd probably come out and say hello. Something like that I don't mind doing, but it's the smaller juveniles now. It's just, especially where I keep a lot of like fast moving kind of old worlds. It's I just try to be a bit more careful.
The featherleg, oh mate, crazy.
Yeah, I've got two of those, and they're about 1 inch now, and I need to rehouse them. And me and Lewis were here actually, and it got out and it flew around the kitchen, and I was sweating. Sweating is probably an understatement. We managed to get it in the end and rehouse it. Literally put it in an enclosure that it's never going to come out of ever again, which is this one. Yeah, there was another time when I had them in the spare room, and I had them all up there. I had my PlayStation up there. I was just playing my PlayStation. All of a sudden, just on the side of the wall, there was a mature male Balfouri just walking up the wall. I was like, he was in one of those little bra plasts. And after a while, when you open and close the lids, they get a bit loose. So he's managed to like squeeze his way through the corner, and he was just walking up the wall, right next to me. It was pitch black. All I had was the light from the screen, and I just saw out the corner of my eye, just like walking up the wall like that. And because I didn't know what it was. I did shit myself. But
the two worst times I've had was with the Komodo, the lockable mesh lids.
Yeah.
Well, it was broke. And the night before, I thought, right, well, tomorrow I'm going to have to go get a plastic box or something, rehouse the Geigers, and it'll be fine. And I thought, if I push it down onto the lip of the glass, that'll be great. Yeah. So I did that, went to work, and the missus is foaming in hysterics because the Geigers, adult female, is walking across the carpet in the front room, and then it goes, it turns, and it starts going up the stairs. And I couldn't get home. So my mate, who's petrified of spiders, bless him, my best mate, he actually come round and he managed to get it in a catch cup, and he was like saying, he was like, "Scott, I've never seen a fucking spider so fucking big. I'm gonna fucking kill you when you get fucking home." It's like,
yeah, brilliant. Love it.
But I mean, it is good keeping spiders and everything. When you get one that does do a runner, it gives you a story to tell, and while it's happening,
definitely,
you know, your heart's pumping away, your adrenaline's pumping away. You miss it. Well, my missus just shuts the kitchen door and she starts laughing at me from the other side, like. She's done that a few times. I had a lividum crawl up the tongs, sit on the back of my hand, and I'd only been keeping spiders probably about a year.
Yeah.
And it threat posed my other hand, and I was fucking shitting myself. And the missus was like, "You didn't scream, you didn't shout, you let out a little whimper like a tiny little girl that you are," she said. And I was like, literally just like, I was thinking, even if I put my hand down to the substrate, this thing might get off it and then bite my hand because it knows it can move. I was like, Steve W, thank you, dude. You've been a channel member for 4 months. Nice one. Appreciate that.
That's well, nice. Yeah. I'll see if I can find this picture I had.
Italian me, Gemma. The other one apart from that was a centipede that escaped, but the missus rehoused that. It was only a small job.
Right, yeah.
Again, that was another Komodo where the little locking mechanism, plastic bit that sits in it, had broke off. And I thought that'd be a great idea just to push it back on for the night, you know? No.
Yeah, they are a bit flimsy after a while, aren't they? Especially when you keep doing those ones. So I've got a couple of those myself, which I've got livid in one actually. The other one's empty because that bit did snap. So I don't know whether to try and repair it or just bin it.
So going back to the question of like, you know, is with all your breedings, what's been it was what haven't you got that you'd like to get?
Yeah. So what
haven't you bred that's kind of on the cards? Maybe you've got a female, but you're looking for the male, or
one that I want to do is not a spider actually. It's my my tricolor hognose. So that's one that I'd love to be able to breed. So my female, she's probably another year and a bit of breeding yet, but she's just absolutely beautiful. And I don't know, she's usually about at this time of night. So see if I find her.
I had the pleasure of meeting one of the giant hognoses last month. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, we had some of the Madagascan ones in the shop that I work in, and they are really really nice.
Did you work in a pet shop then?
Sorry?
Did you work in a pet shop then? Yeah,
so on a Saturday, I kind of my local shop, I go in and I look after all the inverts, and then like when I've like done all the feed in there, I just like go around like making sure all the reptiles and snakes and everything are watered and everything. But yeah, it's just my little sort of like Saturday job.
Do they pay you to do that, or do you just do it for the love?
Yeah, just a little wage. It's not much. Yeah.
Because when you spoke about it, your eyes lit up, and it was just like, yeah.
Half the time it goes back into the shop, you know. Like, yeah, darling. She's probably hungry because she's due a feed.
Dave's little beast says he found a centipede in his bed one day.
Nice.
Oh my god. You wouldn't want to wake up and find that range ball sack, would you?
No, you know what? Not. So she's in shed at the moment, so she's a bit dull, but
why does it come up with me? Hold on, Ian. Let me just try and get you to.
That's all right. So
there we go. Wow, it almost looks like a full-on venomous snake, doesn't it? With those colours.
Yeah, but they kind of look like a milk snake as well, but they replicate a coral snake as well, with the colours. But they are.
So that's not a morph. They're actually found like that in the wild.
Yeah, this is their own species. So they're actually, although they look like a hognose, they're more closely related to the false water cobras, which is quite an interesting fact with them. Yeah, they are absolutely stunning. But yeah, where she's in shed at the moment, she's a little bit dull, but they those reds and the whites really pop when she's freshly shed.
Great breeding project, says Dave. Balfour Town, that's pretty, Ian. But my wife would have a mega ape shit seeing that. Do you know what? Tarantula Rookie says dedicated shed setup here, and that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's getting there, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it's not quite finished yet, but
the amount of times my wife's gone ape shit at me for bringing certain inverts and snakes back, and Now it's just she don't know more. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Pete says, quick question for you. All that know lots more than I do. When do you know when a female tarantula be ready to breed? Male is obviously ready when it's mature and has palps. How do you know when a female is ready? That's a good question.
There's certain species you can tell from when the female molts. You can check usually the spermatheca inside the molt is darker, but that's not kind of like with every species. So it all depends. But generally you can go from kind of size really. That's I've got that Avic that I brought down earlier on with that enclosure. She's only sort of like this size, and she bred this year. Then I've got another female. She's like nearly twice the size, and she bred. So there's no. It's hard to tell really, But a lot of the species you can kind of get an idea of when they're ready to breed.
It's a difficult one because some of the breeders will say like a 4 centimeter body tarantula will breed, but then what you got to remember is the guys that say a 4 centimeter tarantula will breed female. These guys with like a lot of experience behind them, so you need to be kind of asking the question: well, which species was 4 centimeters when you bred it? Like, and what have you? Balfour Town says, you don't in a commune, males just try it on 90% of the time. Yeah, we've got, ours is 14 and there's one mature male and the rest are females, and he's having a whale of a time with the juvenile females. There's inserts going on left, right and centre, but will there be egg sacs? Probably not. But he is enjoying himself.
Yeah. But he is absolutely loving that, isn't he?
Is that MK decals in the house as well?
I mean Balfouris for one, they can breed at quite a small size, so they're when you were saying about the males mature out before the females, I've known before in cases where some of the later, because I've known some males from the same sack mature like a year and a half after the first one had matured out. So, that one had matured that much later. By that time, some of those females have matured and are ready to breed. So, I've known some small Balfouris breed successfully. It is harder because obviously the molt cycle's a lot closer. But
surely the egg sac's going to be really tiny.
It will be smaller. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't recommend it really. I would wait until they're a good full adult size. That's generally when you can tell when they're at that adult size is when they are ready to breed.
Dave says the pokies, you really need them to be mature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tarantula Rookie says, like most females, touch their leg and put some Barry White on. She'll tell you she's not ready. Oh, yeah. If I put Barry White on for my wife, she would literally be like, what are you doing?
This is another one of my... I'd love to be able to do this one time as well. So it's just, if anyone can recognise that one.
Oh, that's a beauty. The eyes
Someone in the chat should be able to recognise it. I haven't actually done any videos on my snakes on my channel, so yeah, Gemma's got it.
Rainbow boa. Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought her this year.
There we go.
Stunning
snake.
Yeah, especially when they're in the light. You get those rainbow sheen. It's just unreal.
The iridescence.
Yeah.
Dave says, "Put the snakes away. It's not fair."
Yeah, unfortunately, Dave, I ain't got any mangroves, mate. So yeah, we'll do one day. We've been talking about mangroves before. Dave used to keep mangroves, and they're one of my favourite snakes. So one day I'm going to have some.
I can't have what I want yet.
No.
I need a lot more room. GTP, Amazon tree boa, above all else, DWA snake, which is the eyelash pit viper.
Yeah.
But obviously, the wife's spoken. She said, look, if you can have anything DWA, you need to have like your setup, a shed or a building that's not connected to the house.
Yeah.
And she lets me get away with keeping this lot. So I've gone, okay. Makes sense as well with kids in the house. And,
of course it does. Yeah.
Even if it's completely locked up and it can't get out, you're still going to go to bed and think, I've just got to get up and go and check that snake again,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But to be honest with you, as much as I'd love to, I don't think I'd ever keep anything that's DWA.
Dave's been talking to camera lady. He might be getting some snakes in the future.
Nice.
DWA, some of his best snakes in the past, as Dave. Yeah. It's the difference between your non-venomous and your venomous. So the snakes that you can keep in your DWA snakes, I think, is the same difference between tropical and marine fish. The colours just are perfect and they really, really pop. And the details of the scales are absolutely amazing. If you've ever seen Chandler's Wildlife or one of those that have got the big king cobras and they do the close-ups of the faces and the scales, absolutely gorgeous.
Definitely,
I think he's over in Thailand at the moment. So I watched a video and he actually found an eyelash up in the trees. I was like, oh my God, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Really would.
Don't worry, Vivian. You're here. If anybody's got any questions for Ian, stick them in the comments, and if I clock them, I'll read them out to Ian. Sorry?
Tarantula Rookie, see this question. Is the room a summer house or shed? Insulated or what work have I done to it? So it's a shed. So it's 12 foot by 6 foot. It's complete windowless shed. So there's no escape from any heat during the winter. It is fully insulated. I do want to add more to it eventually. So what have I done? So on the walls, the ceiling and the roof, I've got the aluminium bubble foil, which is I don't know if I've got a little bit here somewhere. I thought I had a little bit of it.
I suppose a good thing with it being a shed.
Oh, there it is.
If you ever want to expand it, even turn it into an L shape, you can pretty easy, can't you?
You can do. In my garden, it's going to be a bit difficult because I've got like next to the shed, it goes down to the path, and then I've got the back gate to the side of it. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I could probably try and extend it long ways, but it's a bit of a hassle. But yeah, so this is the stuff that I've got. So it's just aluminium like bubble wrap. Then I've got sort of like some OSB kind of like chipboard as well, which is good for keeping heat in. And then for the actual heating, I've got I don't know if you'd be able to see anywhere. You probably can't in here, but around all the walls I've got heating cable. So it snakes all the way behind all the racking, all around the back wall here, and all on this side as well. I've got some more, literally down here somewhere.
So I've got the heating cable that goes around the back of the shelves, but for the main heat source, I've got oil filled radiator. Whether I'll carry on this year with that or not, I don't know.
Yeah, all depends on the price of the electric. So this is it here. So this is 24 meters here. So I've got one 24 meter on the wall this side, and then I've got a 48 meter that goes from the back wall all around this side as well. I've got to put this. I'm going to put this kind of like on the floor. I want to kind of channel it into the floor, get a router or something, and then get some insulated boards, and then a floorboard. So it's kind of like underfloor heating as well. But that's what I've got to do when I get back off my holiday.
Dave's asked an interesting question. How are you finding the heating cable efficiency?
Better than the oil field, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Because
is that your normal kind of reptile associated heating cable, or is that the heating cable that like goes under floor in lofts, that type of stuff? Or is it? Or
I actually got this from a gardening company. So this is what they use to kind of propagate seeds and stuff. But it's good enough to go up to 40 degrees. So it's pretty much exactly the same as stuff what you would get for reptiles.
what wattage is it at? What's the 48 meter?
So the 48 meters are 240 watts.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And the 24 meters 120 watts. So I've got them running off of one thermostat. And
So that's like running just a couple of tiny little fish tanks.
Yeah.
That surprised me. Yeah, really surprising. Does that hold heat across the whole 48 meters really well? Or
yeah, it really does. Yeah. The 24 meters, I do feel you can feel a little bit difference in temperatures. It does get a little bit warmer, but no, the end of the 48 meters just above the door, and that feels just as warm as the end where the plug starts.
wow.
Yeah.
It also goes on to ask if you're using a pulse stat or a normal one.
What's that? Sorry.
Pulse stat.
What have I got? I've got.
I thought probably not.
It's here somewhere. I can't remember which one it is now. There it is. Doesn't say on there. I can't remember what the box said now, to be fair. Because you got three different ones, haven't you? You got the pulse, the dimmer, and oh shit, I can't remember what the other one's called now. I think it is a pulse one. I think. I can't unless I can find the box. I can't remember. Yeah, it's I don't know if it says it on the back of here. Here we go.
If it doesn't say, it will be a mat stat. You got pulse, dimming, and on and off.
This one, it says a digital cool heat thermostat. It doesn't say it's got day and night cycle, so you can set your temperatures for day and night temperatures. It does the light as well, so you can set. So I've got a 12-hour light cycle on it as well. But it's
the Charm Sneaky says, "Howdy from Daytona Beach." Wow, what a place in the world to be!
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Hey, Derek.
But it's quite powerful. It's good for 1100 watts, so I can still put a lot more if I wanted to on it.
Just check these comments. Yes, Matt. Matt's stat is simple on and off.
Yeah. I think I've got a couple of mat stats because I've got the snakes on mats at the moment until I upgrade, because I'm getting a 3 foot for the tricolour, and I'm going to get probably a 5 foot for the rainbow boa, and then I'll go from mats up to probably I'll go ceramics on those, and that'll be on the dimmers.
Tarantula Rookie says, might run a heat cable around my small room for winter, as I currently use an oil rad. House upstairs is sitting at 26 roughly at the moment with no heating at all. but winter gets cold as penguin balls.
Yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Evening, Andy. How you doing, mate? You're 25 minutes behind.
Put your snake on a dimmer, says Pete. Durgeon, but spiders are just use room temperature only. Red Run dubious on heat mats. Ceramics are best for reptiles.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna go with when I upgrade the bibs.
Not the deep heat. No, it's not the deep. Not the black ones. The actual white ceramic bulbs. If they're called
the white
bulbs, I know I do. But
you got DHP deep heat projectors.
which are crap.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't use those. Yeah, no, just the plain white ceramic ones. They're pretty good because they don't need snakes don't require a basking spot like the reptiles do. So it's just literally just to boost the temperatures.
Oh no! Derek says deep heat projector works awesome. Phil says now Burn found that ceramic and DHPS only heat the skin of the animals. Yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
Dave says they bought bulk from China ceramic heaters, and they've been fine. They've never failed.
Mm.
They all have their pluses and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I suppose it comes down to individual keeper, as long as you know if the animal's all right or not. I suppose.
Yeah. Because I've seen as well that we do them in the shop. They're the big one of like radiator type heaters.
Yeah,
they're like a big plate. Someone even recommended using one of those for like the rainbow bower. But yeah, I'm still on the fence. I don't really know much about them, so I don't know what they're like. So I don't know if anyone in the chat knows about them. It might just be an option for maybe some of them when like, the hog nose or something when it comes to brumation or something like that. I'm not too sure.
with you being on the Facebook groups for so long, a lot longer than what I have, would you say there's been a change in the groups as well?
You do see kind of like a lot of groups come and go, like lots start up, like a breakaway if like I don't know if like admins have fallen out or something like that. You do see the squabbles in the groups, don't you? So you see another group start up, and
there seems to be a group starting up every other week, well, every other day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, I mean, I try to stay out of all the drama now. I used to.
Same.
Before it'd be like get the popcorn out and maybe stir the pot a little bit, but yeah, now I do admin a few groups myself. It's I've kind of taken a different kind of view on it, so I try and stay out of the drama as much as I can, kind of thing.
I think the drama's got less, unless I'm just not paying attention to it.
Yeah, it's not as bad. Yeah,
Avic memes seem to have been outlawed and stopped, which is a pretty good thing.
What, sorry?
Remember the old Avic memes?
Yeah.
Avic, all that seems to have stopped, which is only in the last kind of 2 years, but at least it actually has.
I'll see a few every now and again. I find them quite funny to see, but
I think there's a lot more of a positive feel to the Facebook groups now as well, because the groups used to get quite a lot of shit back in the day, didn't they? For jumping down people's throats and stuff like that. But nowadays it seems to have changed.
So often now, I think
they've come a long way.
You kind of sniff out a lot of the
Cheers, Craig.
The trolls, and you kind of try to make the groups as welcoming as possible.
Cheers, Balfour Town. Yeah, the Facebook group Scots Inverts Army. That's the main one that I'm with now.
Yeah.
I do admin 4 others, but that's the main one. It's kind of a relaxed atmosphere. Sometimes there's quite a few posts on in one day, other days there's not.
Yeah.
No drama. Only Danish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you see, you see sometimes like someone doesn't agree with how something's being kept or stuff like that, and I think there's one the other day about how like GBBs are or are not classed as semi-arboreal, and there was just a massive heated discussion in that. There's nothing malice towards it. It was just different.
You've only got to look at the size of the abdomen and go, nah, compared to the legs. Trying to think, you're going to climb, but you're not going to go that high.
Yeah. I kind of set mine up sort of like both ways. It's only sort of like that sort of size at the moment, and it's got plenty of digging space if it wants to, and it's got a bit of height as well. So,
but then you could go into the wild, and you could find one up a tree.
Yeah.
We can always agree to disagree with respect, says Derek. Exactly. I think the key is if somebody's keeping, I don't know, let's say a curly hair on 1/2 inch of substrate, I think the key points are don't be quick to judge in comments. Maybe drop them a really politely worded message and see where you get. Because if somebody's keeping a spider incorrectly and you jump down their throat, they're not. The potential for them to listen to you drops drastically.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is how I set my GBB up. So it's got plenty of substrate for digging. It's got this, starter burrow there. It's decided not to use that. It's kind of made a bit of a home under the rock. It's kind of like just got loads of holes all in it. It's done a little bit of webbing kind of in the corner there, but you can see how much substrate in there. Yeah, it's just made a little home at the back. That's kind of similar how you would kind of find them in the wild under kind of like a scrubland, bushy area type thing. So I've tried replicating that as much as I can.
Mine's going mad.
Yeah, mine's just darted away because I've moved her.
So mine's done all this webbing.
Yeah.
And she's currently, he's currently, you can see.
Yeah.
Hanging upside down on the mesh.
Yeah, so no, it's it was. There was no in that discussion. There was no sort of like you're doing it wrong or anything like that. It's just someone was saying that this is how it should be done. Someone was saying this is how it should be done. It's just do it how you want to do it, kind of thing. There's no sort of like right or wrong way of doing it.
And don't forget to use a microphone to sex your spiders. I said microphone once, microscope. That's it. Oh, what happened there?
It's got frozen.
I'm still frozen.
Yeah, Tarantula Rookie said there was a certain group that the main drama is on, which is, funnily enough, I think that was the group that the discussion on the GBBs was.
I think I'm banned from that group, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers, Derek. Yeah, Balfour Town. We've got a WhatsApp group that's connected to the Facebook group and the channel. If drop me a message, I'll send you the link. I don't understand why there is drama. I started 2 years ago. I have never spoken out. I do what I do. I have bought 28 spiders, lost 3, 1 mature male, 2 slings. I think I'm doing okay. You certainly are, Pete.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm feeling a lot better this week than what I was last week, mate. Yeah, weren't too well at all last week. It was probably the most painful week of my life. Yeah, so fingers crossed. What went on will never happen again. But to be honest, Leo, I have got to go back to the doctors and sort out a very, very. When I say operation, don't take it out of context, because an operation, it's a 2-second operation to stop it ever happening again. Like, what happens if you wish to improve? You will surround yourself with people who offer sound advice and like-minded individuals.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then, you might come across what you might call a dickhead. But then, if they've got something going on at home, or they've got some other issue that's going on, you just don't know. There could be a reason why they're being a bit snappy on Facebook or another social media platform, which we don't, you might not know about. So, from personal experience, always give people a second chance just in case, unless they're a complete and utter dickhead, and then obviously, do what you do. Lots of lovable dickheads around, Scott. Oh, Darren. Everybody has their bad days. I think the key is, if you're having a bad day, keep yourself off social media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's why I don't post all too often.
Yeah. If I'm having a bad day, I kind of go, no, I'm not going anywhere near that. I'm not going.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you like the way the hobby is kind of going at the moment?
I think it's going from strength to strength. Really, it feels like there's a good kind of aura at the moment, and there's you used to know who the dickheads were in the groups, and you don't often see them post anymore, which is quite nice, really. It's whether they've chosen to not post or whether they've been booted from the groups, I don't know, but it's definitely improved.
I think 2 years ago there was obviously this channel and other channels doing lives, and we were all on about the negativity in the groups, and it seemed to have taken a good turnaround in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think people in general have kind of chilled out, especially with COVID, and they realised, how valuable all the connections are, and how valuable making friends is, and what have you. And I think people just in general are a bit more open-minded, sort of in 2022 than what we were a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, definitely. I totally agree. I'm probably more chilled out as you can get. I don't argue with anyone.
I've never seen you argue with anybody or on Facebook or anything. You've never.
No. It's like I try to get on with everybody as much as I can. It's the kind of person I am. Really, it's.
What I've learned is if you get yourself into an argument with somebody,
don't get me wrong, but it's
if you get yourself into an argument with somebody, if they've got more of a social media output than what you have, suddenly you're wrong on all fronts. Or if you're having an argument with somebody, they could be sitting at their computer literally just typing whatever just to wind you up, and you're just getting more and more wound up in your own mind. And I can't deal with that. It just sends you into depression, doesn't it? Or gets you typing stuff that you really don't want to.
Yeah. No, I've had disagreements with bigger, much bigger YouTube channels than myself, and you do find that mentality where they have their followers. They think because they've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers that they're the knower or be all and end all of all the information, where some of the information being dished out was incorrect, I kind of called them out on it, and despite the fact that there was a select few people that I knew back on my on my reasons, the majority of the subscribers weren't in the hobby, and they were like, well, his person's right.
I think there's a bit of jealousy every now and again as well, might come into it. Going forward, I see it. I don't know. Everybody just seems to get on now.
Yeah.
Even people that are arguing in the past seem to be talking again, and all the rest of it, which seems to be can only be a good thing for the hobby. Because after COVID, we all need to be together. We all need to be united.
Exactly. Life's too short of graduates, isn't it? So
it's not really been said in social media or on the news, but I think we're kind of entering another Cold War at the moment. So it should all be about togetherness and kind of loving each other, because nobody knows what's around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter how big a channel gets; it doesn't make you any better than the next one, says Dave. Exactly. I started off watching Dark Den. I don't watch him anymore. Hold on one sec.
What kind of mantis is that, Ellie?
The devil flower mantis.
Oh, he's nice.
Yeah.
Is it a male or female?
Female.
Yeah.
It's huge though.
Right. She's lovely.
For some reason, StreamYard seems to be really slow at the moment. Especially when trying to click to swap people around.
Yeah. Is she mature, is she? Or
No, not yet. She's not fully grown yet.
no, still got some growing. Yeah, nice. I've started getting into the mantids more. Yeah, I've got
Derek. Derek says I started off watching Scott's Inverts, but the beard just pisses me off now. If you want. Full of loving here tonight. No wanker, I'm always fake beard jokes. No, because Michael's not here tonight, is he? He's took the dog out. Darren got his daughter a ghost mantis last week. Oh, pass it over there.
Okay, then. Into good news. You know how I got 4.5 days?
Yeah.
When I got 20 points.
That's the one we got from the spider shop.
I've got a little. Just in there, I've got a little orchid mantis.
Paradoxia. I struggle with the genus names on the mantis.
Real small.
Philiocrane.
There she is. Just there.
It's not Tara in here, Craig. It's Layla.
Why do they keep on getting mixed up?
It should be about being together, and if anyone feels let out, come talk to me, says Leah. And trust me, that's not when Leah says that. That's not a throwaway comment. It weren't so long ago that I was feeling crap when I was chatting to Leah. Leah actually stayed up to about 3 a.m. Just to make sure I was okay. Love Mantis, want to add more. My I can't pronounce that one. Got his wings last week. So much growth from when I got him. Tarantula Rookie, my Paradoxia passed away last week. Ah. Yeah, there is some stunningly beautiful people in the hobby.
Definitely. Chris's Zoo on the wheels. I work in Reptasia in Basingstoke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they've got a couple of branches. They've got one in Basingstoke and one in Farnborough.
Have they got is it the Lenovo king snake in at the moment? The white king snake with the what colour markings did it have now? It looked absolutely gorgeous.
It was like a black and a white one. we had in a little while ago come in as a rehome, but that's been rehomed now. I don't think we've got any in the Basingstoke branch at the moment. We had a point where we had sort of like 3 or 4, but we've got a lot of Royals. Got a lot of
I follow her on Facebook.
yeah, got a lot of baby boas. Got a few corns, which most shops have. Got a couple of Burms and a couple of retics as well, which is nice.
Wow.
We've got a lovely big male Burm. He's beautiful. He is.
I know Annie's arachnid is after a few more snakes, and she's down London way. Hi, Darkblade. My tarantula is 2 to 3 hours to feed. Mantis 4 to 5 because all they want to do is come out and say hi. It takes me longer than what it should to feed, but I really enjoy it. And a stop and a start. And we usually do it on Mark's Live on a Saturday or while the AKAC is playing on a Sunday.
Yeah. Generally, I'm in here on a Tuesday, like I said earlier, just feeding them all up. Well, generally, I've usually got yourself on, or unless there's some football on or something like that, then I'll put that on.
What? You choose football over me?
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Not all the time. It's only occasionally. But no, it's generally I've got YouTube on in the background.
Cheers, Balfour Town. Drop me a message and I'll send you the WhatsApp chat across to you. Be great to have you in there as well as.
Yeah, take care, Andy. Cheers for popping in, mate.
Is that Balfour Town? Is it, Andy?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I've been chatting with him quite a lot lately because he's been looking for like giving each other kind of like advice on the Balfouries, his experiences, my experiences. Because he had a lot of the ones that Graham had in his big communal. He bought 15 of the adult females off of him. So, and I had the rest of them.
I just love watching all my feed. Don't care if it takes all day. It's a distraction from everything else. So when you split up with your wife and you got remarried?
Yeah. Well, I'm not married. Yeah, I'm engaged to be married, but not married again. Yeah.
Just assuming that. Sorry, didn't mean to just assume. Did you explain tarantulas come with you, or did you not have many at the time? Or
I didn't have any when I moved in.
How's she taken Ian Tarantula spider life kind of thing?
So when I said that I wanted a tarantula, she didn't realise it was going to amount to a couple of hundred tarantulas. So yeah, that took a little bit of work, but she just gives up now. She just lets. She knows that it's my kind of happy place in here, and yeah, no, she's
my other half. She'll complain every now and again, but she knows I need it at the same time to keep my head straight.
Yeah.
But I think all of us who have got spiders and partners aren't best. It's not their favourite subject, but they still allow us to do what we do. I think we're very lucky.
Yeah, she doesn't mind him. She's held a few of them before and stuff like that, so she's not like afraid of them or anything like that. She just knows now about the electricity bill. That's pretty much it.
I still got tarantulas.
Those little beasties wants a tarantula.
Tarantula.
I'm getting 4 Balfouri. Is this enough for a small communal, or do I need more? Says Gemma.
No, 4's fine. Yeah.
I've got the juvies together here, but then I've got 2 slings together.
Yeah. Well, when I got this 6 in here, a couple of days before that, I bought a collection off of someone local, and there was 2 females in there in a communal together, and I was debating whether to put all 8 together, but I decided against it, and I've got them separate now because like that way I've got 2 more sort of like different bloodlines for breeding. So so like I've got 3 different bloodlines out of the 5 females that I've got separate. 3 of those, 3 different bloodlines from them. So that's it's to help with that gene pool to keep them all mixed. But no, 4. Yeah, I mean, generally when I come around to selling mine, I'll sell them in no less than 5s, unless like I've got like an odd 4 left or something like that, then I'll do it. But generally, I'd recommend 5. But no, 4 is absolutely fine.
And how much do you sell 5 for at a show?
I'll generally
Just in case somebody's thinking about it and
5 slings, I'll do probably about 50 quid for 5, and if someone wants 10, I'll probably do it for 90. That's what I think. That's what I was doing them for last time. I haven't had any this year to sell. So like since I had some left over from last year at C's, but that's when I sold the last lot I had. But I've got probably about 100 babies here. So when it comes to Brighton show, they'll all be ready to go.
Just check the chat. Chris's missus drives him daft. She wants an egg sack. Greg, 8 legs, 4 wheels. Such quality. Ian, if you make a communal from the same sack, are you not at risk of interbreeding?
You are. Again, there's been a bit of backwards and forwards whether it harms invertebrates to interbreed. I don't think it does too much damage, because you think about how many Balfouris originally were collected from the wild, which is probably, you could probably count on one hand how many were taken out of the wild and how many are actually in the hobby. Is you're talking thousands, and they've all come from probably just a handful of spiders. So interbreeding, I don't think harms invertebrates like it would do.
Do they still not still get wild caught from the island then, or is it protected now? Or
it's not so much protected; it's finding them out there. That's the problem you get. I know. I was speaking to someone before who's gone out there 3 times and never found them. But it's such a remote place to get to as well. It's not like you can just jump on a plane over there. It's really hard to get to the island, and then when you get there, it's even harder to find the spiders. So I can't remember the last time that they were actually imported from Socotra. So there's it's definitely not been many.
Jamie Lee, I have 1 Balfour Juve on an aisle, but I never see her. Yeah, they just sit in the webs. They do sit in the webs. Communally, I see a lot of mine communally.
Yeah, communals. I mean, I've got the six females in there. I can't see any of them at the moment. They're all hiding away. No. I've got a few hanging out at the top of that one. I can see. I've got probably about a dozen babies here, all on the side of the grass. That female's out. That one's hiding with her babies. And those 2 are generally hiding away as well. So when I do find when you keep them solo, they do hide a lot more than what you would when you've got a communal. Then you've got more chances of one being out in a communal.
And Alex wanted to know how the cresty babies were getting on.
The eggs, yeah, they're doing all right. Yeah, they're the reptile ones that I've got, crested geckos. I candled them today, and you can see the veins have got a little bit bigger. So,
are you incubating them, or have you left them in with mother, or?
I've took them out and just put them in a little incubator, just literally just on top of the Viv. So they're getting the heat from the lights during the day. It's quite warm in my front room as well, so it's probably about 23 to 25 degrees. So yeah, they're doing all right so far. She's starting to fatten up a little bit, so probably it'll be another 2.5 weeks, I think, before she'll lay again.
What's been well, you've probably already answered it, but what's been your proudest moment so far?
Proudest? Probably probably my first time I bred, really. It took a while. It was one of the Balfouri females that I had.
Hi, Greg.
Yeah, take care, Greg. See you again soon, mate. Yeah, just getting that first egg sack and being successful. That was a proud moment. Another one was the Harpyptera pulchripes, that breeding her last year, being my favourite spider. That was just really, really, phenomenal. And what else? Yeah, so
Lee said, which dart frogs do you keep, Scott? Currently, I haven't got any dart frogs. I've got 4. I can't remember the scientific name off the top of my head. I have to go through my phone. I bought the Blackfoot, the big yellow ones with the black feet. Got four tadpoles of those on the way, and 2 of the Dendra ones, the blues. I got 2 of those.
Yeah, they're cool. They are.
But I don't think I'll do much videos with them because I've got no experience with them. So it'd be pretty wrong for me to try and kind of go, this is how I keep them, because something might be incorrect. Do you know what I mean? And stick it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's probably
hypnotised anyway.
The snakes yet either, because where they're still in their smaller vivs, I want to wait until I've got them set up in their proper vivs before I can say, this is how I keep them.
Is there anybody at the shows that you've wanted to meet and you've met them and you've gone, wow?
I really wanted to meet Andrew Smith, which I managed to have a good chat with him a couple of times. What he's done for the hobby is just speaks volumes, really, doesn't it? Who else?
I really wish him and Tom Moran could do a collab on pokers. I think it'd be the ultimate documentary. I think it'd be the ultimate pokey video. Yeah,
well, I'm waiting because the pokey video is the next one that he's done, isn't it? It's coming out.
Yeah.
I'll back the Kickstarter on that one. So being one of my favourite genus, that one I had to back. Who else would I say? Meeting. I'd say Sam Bugman Sam. He was one of the first people I started watching.
He's lovely.
Yeah, he's
really
brilliant.
is.
Yeah, I met him
really
a few times
nice
now, yeah, he's a lovely bloke. Yeah, you could say everyone you speak to on Facebook, it's just meeting anybody, someone coming up to you and saying, hello to you. It's like, oh, I'm such and such. Like when Steve come up to me, I didn't. Obviously, I've spoken to him through like chats on YouTube, but I never knew what he looked like. He come up to me. I think it was when we were in the queue for Donny. He's like, "Oh, I'm Steve W." I was like, "Oh, nice, nice to meet you, mate."
He's
like that,
he's amazing. He won Steve's giveaway for the Stranger Things enclosure and gave it to me. I was like, what the fuck? Literally just like, I told him to fuck off to start with. I just didn't believe it, like.
Yeah.
Religion says Dark Den. It's weird. Dark Den is never in chat, huh? He's obviously too big for everything. Dark Den. Yeah, I've met him. I met him at BTS. He didn't really have much time, but there was a massive queue. There was a massive queue of people to talk to him.
I spoke to him at the BTS when he was there. Not the last BTS, but the one before COVID. Because I stayed up there the night before, he was at the pub when we were all drinking. And that was during the first season of Fatal Fang. So I went up against him in the first round of that. And we had a bit of chat about that and everything. And then I spoke to him again at the show. And it wasn't long after that, we had a bit of a falling out.
I had a falling out with him as well.
Huh?
I had a falling out with him as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say hello to him, and you know, I've got respect for him. But
the stepdaughter's 12. At the time, she was 10, so just before lockdown. It wasn't BTS; it was another show he was at, and he was stood by
Brighton
himself.
show. That was the Brighton show, wasn't it? Not long after.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's gone to say hello to him, and he completely fucking blanked her and just turned his back round. So me being me, I went over and just went, "Who the fuck do you think you are, mate? My daughter watches you, and you just fucking blanked her." I said, "I'd really appreciate it if when next time she comes over, you actually speak to her." And he was like, but then shouted Layla, and he spoke great to Layla. Whether it was me, I might have been overreacting. He might have just not have seen her. But then she's a tall girl. Do you know what I mean? And when you stood by yourself, I don't know how you'd miss her, but maybe you did. Maybe that's how it was. But I was pissed off. I think, you know, like myself, like you, like Ellie, like everybody else in chat that does channels. If you're going to do a channel, then you've got supporters, and when they come and speak to you, you should then have time to sit and say hello and
exactly, yeah.
Shows or via messages. Alex Exotics, he obviously thinks he's something special. I mean, he does good for the community. Don't get me wrong. You know, he does good on YouTube. He is a nice guy on YouTube and all the rest of it. I might, like I said, I probably just overreacted, and he probably just didn't see her. But I will be the first to say, when it comes to the stepdaughter, I am the most defensive stepfather in the world. And it's pretty much as simple as that. I normally, if something goes on with her because of her past, I normally go flying over like a bullet at a gate, to be honest. So it might have just been all genuine, and you know, just got overreacted.
Yeah. That's what you do as a parent, isn't it? You know.
Alex says, I've stopped and spoke to Ian and Scott. Both have been polite to me. Yeah, of course we're going to be polite.
Yeah, I spoke to Alex a few times. He was at the BTS the night before at the hotel, and we was having a good chat there. And then we spoke again at Bristol, and then we spoke over Messenger a few times as well. You know, I've got, you know, I try to respond as much as I can to people. Obviously, being working 6 days a week and having a family and everything, it does sometimes take me a little while to respond. But I try to respond as quickly as I can. But you know, and I won't ever ignore anyone. Intentionally.
Because of my past. I mean, I've got subscribers that are still doing what I used to do. So some of them are still like hard men, if you like. Some of them are still in addiction and stuff. And sometimes I've stayed up chatting to them. And you know, it's what you've got to do.
Absolutely.
Hodsky DMB, get the drum and bass out. Says, "What's the hardest tarantula you've ever had to rehouse, Scott?" I'll ask Ian the same. Mine was probably an LP sling, and the reason it was the hardest was it did a runner, and it's Layla's. So it did a runner. I was rehousing it. She was in bed, and we used to have a lot of bookshelving here, and when the bookshelving was up, it went behind there. So I had to spend 4 hours taking everything off, getting all the bookshelves out and all the rest of it to find it. And when I found it, it was then about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was getting up at 7 for work as well in the morning, but then I had to put everything back as well. That was the hardest one.
Yeah,
purely because of the amount of time. How about you, Ian?
In regards to hardest, I'm trying to think now, because generally mine have all been pretty chilled out, you know, like even like my OBT and stuff like that, you know, threw up a little bit of a fret posture, but maybe if anything, it would have been the one I was talking about earlier, the K Bruna peas, which ended up living under my kitchen units for 3 months, you know. But that was my own fault, because I was a bit lax and, you know, a bit cocky on the way I've done it. I didn't take precautions, but no, I mean everything. When I go to rehouse everything, I make sure that now, especially after that, I take all precautions. I've got my way of rehousing arboreal spiders, which leaves absolutely no way that spider can escape. Like the little contraption that I've built. It's the way that I've found that I've done pokies, I've done Salmopius, done a few other Asian arboreals that I've got, and each one it's just the best way that I've found doing it. And when it comes to rehousings, I'm now pretty confident, and it doesn't really give me any troubles. So yeah, if anything, it probably would have been that K. Bruna piece, but no doubt there's going to be one that causes trouble. Balfouris are always fun to rehouse, especially when you've got a few of them in there. I think we got that down to a T now, though. So
when we did ours, Lewis spent about 5 minutes chasing one around the kitchen. It was very calm, very collective, and eventually he got it. And yeah, it then walked straight out of the catch cup, straight into the Viv like.
Yeah. I've had Balfouris run up my arm, up over my shoulder, and
Alex says he gets messages about reptiles, just asking for advice. Got to remember he works with 3 kids to message at a reasonable time. Yeah, I'd say the same as Ian. Really, message, and then we all get back to you eventually. It might take a day. For me, I can be halfway through a conversation, and then you won't hear off me for maybe an hour or two, because having Leo with his meltdowns, our 3-year-old, can be very challenging, and sometimes it takes 2 of us just to calm him down. Or especially at the moment, because with him being in the front room, he's taught to, if he gets annoyed, he'll pick a toy up, and where that toy can end up can be anywhere he can throw it. So he recently smashed a TV. So we've got to be extra careful when he's on a meltdown. We have to give him 100% attention, and we've got me and the missus have kind of developed this thing where we breathe with him, and he breathes in with his hands, and he'll push out the air with his hands, if you like, and then he'll tell you when he's calm, when he feels better. He'll say better. That can be 20 minutes, that can be 2 hours. Tara does a lot of it. I mean, she does a lot of it, bless her. Hey, Ben, the Phasmid farm. Ellie looks rushed off her feet. Ellie does a very good job of checking comments and messaging me if I've missed anything. And kicking my ass if I need it too.
Lee Birch said, I'd imagine it's nice when people come up to you and talk to you at shows, makes you feel like a celeb, I imagine. Yeah. It is nice, definitely. Like someone recognises you, like from your videos, or to be honest with you, I don't get it all that often because I don't post very often in groups. I don't share my videos in social media. So the subscribers that I generally get have just been kind of more what's the word? Oh, it's gone completely out of my head. But they found my channel through YouTube rather than it being shared through Facebook. You know what I mean? More I can't remember what the word is.
I find it very humbling. It doesn't really feel like you're a celebrity.
No, I don't. I don't feel.
I
don't class myself as I don't class myself as like a YouTuber either. Like anything like that. It's just I put videos up. People want to watch them, or that's probably why I don't share them about too much. Because it's.
I don't know, if I meet somebody at a show and they come over and say, "Oh yeah, I know your channel," I'm very much, well, here's my personal Facebook. I want to be friends as well as subscribers, and I've literally met three of my closest friends through YouTube, which is Ellie Lewis, and Chris.
Yeah.
Some other phenomenally close people that are to me, like Leah and Spider-Man, Mark Spider Guy.
Yeah.
But I prefer it to be like if somebody comes and says hello, to then send me a friend request to become friends as well as.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oddski says, has Ian ever been bitten by any of the tarantulas?
No, never been bitten. No.
Same, not yet.
No. And hopefully it'll continue as well. It's.
Everyone kind of says like, well, I say everybody. A few people kind of say, yeah, but it's in the bag because you've got so many. And I always say, well, why is it if you keep them? And if you've got enough catch cups around you when you do rehousing, if you've got enough paintbrushes and you've got that respect for them, then there's no reason why you'd ever get bitten. You must always keep that fear that it could be a possibility, though, because when you start daisical, that's the points where it can happen. So, and by that I mean to keep your catch cups here, there, and everywhere, and maybe for some of the faster species like I do, get one of your mates who keeps spiders to pop around and as a backup.
Yeah. I think that the probably the only time that I'd ever get bitten, because I don't handle all too often. Every now and again I do. I'm not totally against it, but probably the most time that I would most likely be bitten is when breeding. That's when I'm at the most vulnerable situation, because the way I rehouse is done so that I know that it's the safest for myself and the spider. So that's down. There's generally no chance of me getting bitten in that respect. But when you're breeding, if you're trying to separate a male and a female to protect the male, that's that's when things can go wrong, because you're concentrating on that female not eating the male, but she could end up turning around and tagging yourself. So that's probably the only time. But
you can get the little artist brushes about this long.
Yeah.
That's what I use when I'm doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got
and surprisingly enough, even when they're doing the deed, if you've got that paintbrush literally this far away from the female, they don't seem to be bothered.
No.
And you've created a barrier. Jenny, where can you find the scorpions down in Kent? Oh yeah, the dock walls.
I think Gary's done a video. Didn't he do a video on him before? Arachnotube?
I don't follow him.
I think he done one where he went that way and he was searching for the scorpions. Yeah, but it's definitely it's down sort of like, is it like Felixstowe way, isn't it? And
yeah, I've seen it on a couple of the random videos that have popped up on Facebook to tell you. I watched a non-native animals in the UK. Like there's an island with wallabies on it near the Isle of Wight and stuff like that. And I was watching it there, and they come up on there, but they haven't got the sting, have they? They're tailless, from what I remember.
Yeah, pseudo scorpions, isn't it? Yeah.
And they come over when the shipping lanes all started up back when we were powered by wind. So they think.
Yeah. Because there is the small species. I don't know what species it is, but sort of like you're looking at this sort of size, and you can on all the walls you can blacklight them all and find them all that way. But it's down in the southeast somewhere, isn't it? I'm not exactly sure where.
I think Portsmouth. It's going to be one of the docks, one of the big docks.
Yeah, I think it's more like Felixstowe way, which is like kind of like Essex way, isn't it? And I'm sure it's down that way, the southeast somewhere. I'm pretty sure about that. I saw a post. I think it was this week actually, of someone posting a few of the images on one of the groups. If I can find it, I'll share it. But it was That was quite interesting.
I killed my sucker.
Apparently, there's wallabies roaming the southwest of England too. And stick insect. There's a species of stick insect that's in the UK.
Phil says it was in Kent, the Docklands in Kent, where the scorpions are.
Phil, can you remember what the species? We've got 3 species introduced phasmids, one introduced scorpion. Yeah, the phasmid farm. That's Ben. He used to be big into his tarantulas and centipedes. Now he's focused onto his phasmids. But that guy is young lad, highly intelligent, highly intelligent. Yes, wild phasmids down in Cornwall. And I think, from what I remember, I don't think the phasmids are having any impact on our natural wildlife either. Oh, and centipedes. Just not handling them anymore. Euroscorpius flavicordius. Sorry. Is there a species of spider that you find interesting that's native to the UK? Then?
Me, we get. They're not native as such, but we get a lot of the false widows around this way. I've got a few, like outside of the shed, like under all the rafters, already made nests. Another one I love. We used to, like, when I lived in Southampton, we had a lot of them. Was the Segestra florentina, the tube web. No, it's it's like the one that had the green fangs, the tube web spider.
Yes.
Yeah, generally, you see them in walls, in the bricks in the walls, and they're just like you've got like just like the legs poking out, and yeah, they're pretty cool. We used to have them like literally like, you know, where when in my mum's house there was just like along the wall there was just hole after hole of them. There's loads of them. You shine a light and all you can see is the chilefra, the green iridescence on their fangs. It was pretty cool.
That would be an epic video.
Yeah.
That would be a really good video because we've got the mouse spider as well now, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think they're down.
Seen one of those. I've seen a woodlouse spider. They've got pretty nasty looking fangs.
Green fangs, Gestria florentina.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, we used to get a lot of that. I haven't seen any up here though.
It's a shame we haven't got a native tarantula. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah.
But we do overlook, especially in the UK. It's probably the same for everybody wherever you are in the world. Like, you do overlook your native species and just look at your exotic stuff. Well, I mean, I do. And there is some stunning species. I mean, apart from false widows, I am a fan of the widow family anyway. The falses, they are. I mean, we've got. I don't know. I'm feeding about 300 at the moment, and I'm debating where to release them, or if to release them. And I've still got the mum as well. It's just the fact that they've got that chunky body and those long, thin legs.
Yeah.
And you drop even a mealworm and they come out, bite it and wrap it up, and it's wrapped up in seconds, and the legs don't look like they're strong enough to be able to spin it around and do what they've got to do, but yeah, they still do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so even like your garden spiders, you can get some like the orb garden spiders. I don't know the scientific name for them, but they can get quite big, and they like build up the massive webs. We had I think it was last year at the front, like when it started getting a bit cold, you get all the dew on the web, and it just looks incredible where there's so many like different webs, and it's just they look all white.
I've kept and bred house spiders, false widows in backyard. Been keeping a house spider too. House spider put Layla in hospital, bit her on the bum, and
Really?
yeah, it was more the infection that come along with it. So she had to have that tiny area cut out. I know one of the few people who work with our native ladybird spider.
Hmm.
The only one that I've got a grievance with in the UK is a cellar spider, and that's because you get so many of the little shits.
They're incredible though, they are, because I wish I had a video camera, but the cellar spider, I saw one take down a false widow like 4 or 5 times its size. It's just incredible to watch.
They've got a venom that specifically kills spiders, haven't they?
Yeah.
Part of their neurotoxins, which is just
But
insane.
it's more just they use their rear legs to just wrap and web and web and web, and where they've got such long gangly legs, the prey just can't get near them.
Yeah.
But they you just look at the body structure of them, how slender and skinny they are. They just look so fragile, don't they? But you watch them in action, they're just unreal.
Somebody did say, I was going to answer it. Said thoughts on centipedes. I do apologise. It's way up the chat now. I love centipedes. I quite like watching the stone or smooth centipedes that we get in the UK. They're pretty cool. I think they only grow to 2 inches.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I had a few when I dug up the garden. I found a few sort of like.
Hi, Gordon.
Hi, Gordon.
I find them fascinating. I've just never got around to keeping any yet. I'd love to have a big sort of like one of the big South American centipedes.
Galapagos. Ooh. The big giant ones. Mate, I'd love one of those. All the ones that I've had, I kind of have gone like this deep with substrate, and they kind of just go down into the substrate. And sometimes you literally have to go around digging around just to double check that they're alive.
Yeah.
Ben's got a Dahani female around 8.5 inches.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Dahani's in here in this one, and I never see it. There's like a court piece part that comes down like that, and when I first put it in there, it sat on there, and then it went in ground, and that's it, gone.
Yeah, I like is it the cherry red one? I don't know, is that a Daihani as well? Just a different locale or something? I'm not too sure. They're pretty cool. Like literally like a bright red centipede
with the black head.
I can't remember what.
Probably about 4.5 inches.
Ben would know which one it is.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Ben. Actually,
I can't remember if it's a Diani or if it's a different species.
I'd rather poo my hand and clap than go digging in a centipede enclosure.
Yeah, it is a Diani.
Malaysian cherry red Dahani. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm going to jump off soon, okay?
Okie dokie. You all good?
Yeah, I got exam tomorrow, and Crystal got exam tomorrow. I'll be up early.
Yes. Cherry red.
Oh, that's stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, wicked.
Night, Deja.
Right,
What exam you got, Ellie?
Environmental studies on red meat.
Well, hopefully it goes well for you.
She'll smash it. She'll
Hey?
smash it.
It's a reset.
You feeling confident, yeah?
Yeah, kind of.
She's a very intelligent lady. You'll smash it.
I'm sure she will.
Oh, nice, Phasmid. Nice. Potentially getting an adult male. Scolopendria polymorphia Rio Grande. Very nice. Everyone is saying good luck to Ellie.
The exam question is my own. I get to choose my own topic, my own whatever else. Then I have to. So it works in 3 parts. You have to write a journalism article, then you have to write a report, and then you have to write an essay. That's the exam.
Right.
Ellie,
Yeah.
you drink posh coffees, don't you? Filter coffee. Do you put milk in?
Depends on what the coffee is and what I want to get out of it and what mood I'm in.
I've got some American stuff, espresso, and just some other coffee from the rifle company.
First, because sometimes he'll tell you put 1 spoon and you'll be like, that doesn't got enough flavor. So then you put 2 or 3 spoons and then you got enough flavor, and then you're like, maybe I'll add milk to this. But I tend to prefer them with no milk, maybe sometimes 1 spoon of honey, maybe no honey, no sugar. I don't really have sugar, so I only have honey or no sugar. However, if you don't like a sweet tooth, Welsh honey is the best. Raw Welsh honey, because it's quite bitter.
Vivian says, what's the best coffee you've ever had?
Have you ever had the cat poo curry? Coffee. So.
No, I'm not a fan of
Chinese stuff.
It was a couple of years ago. I saw it like being shared around, like this like lucrative coffee made out of cat shit. It's like, yeah, I don't fancy that.
That's the one I buy a lot of. Fresh coffee, it's can't remember what it's called. Let me check my emails. I get it from you.
Lee, I haven't started watching Lord of the Rings show on Amazon just yet. I've been really busy, actually. Tonight, I've got to restructure all this, so all this is coming down. So we've got coffee, we've got Relentless. Can't do it in the day because the kids and what have you. And a lot of it's got to go in the front room to come back in here and stuff like that. So it's going to be a big job tonight. But again, a good friend Lewis Lupang, he's coming down to give hand. The big question though, Ian, coffee or tea?
I'm a coffee drinker.
Oh,
yeah, just
do you drink
coffee for me? Huh?
Do you drink any tea at all?
No, not really. No. Just generally, if I have a coffee, I'll just have it like just instant, like gold blend or something like that. Just black, no milk, no sugar.
Alex says, cat shit coffee. My neighbour's garden must be worth a fortune. Odsky says, tea all day. Yes, mate. I am a Yorkshire tea man, but I do enjoy coffees as well.
Yeah, no, I can't remember last time I had a cup of tea. Yeah.
What are you drinking there, Ellie?
No Yorkshire, that's for sure.
It's that posh shit, isn't it? You've got some duck feathers and chamomile flowers or some shit. I don't know.
Elderflower, is it?
No, it's pear tea.
What?
Pear tea.
Is it a recovery tea?
No, the thing when I drink all the time.
Got to love a Yorkshire tea. Flipping too right. Chai tea? No. Oh no. I do enjoy Costa coffee. I like caramel latte as long as the coffee's strong. So an extra espresso in there.
Duck milk? You can milk a duck? I didn't know you can milk a duck.
I'm a bit partial to a mocha as well, Alex.
Oh, Jenny, PG. Oh.
I'm going to actually see if we have duck milk now. I want to know what duck milk tastes like.
I doubt it.
Didn't even know you can milk a duck.
No, neither did I, to be fair.
I don't drink a lot of dairy anyway.
No, I don't. We rarely buy milk in the house. My missus don't drink it. I don't drink it. Like it's usually only if we have people round, we'll just buy a little one in case they have tea or coffee.
See, I get 3 different types of milk. My boy has cow's milk, my girl has coconut milk, and I have oat and hemp milk. But none of us is like vegetarian or anything like that. But I have dairy problems. Chris will have dairy problems. So what we do is minimize the amount of dairy that we eat. Then we don't get problems. But then we still enjoy the types of dairy that we prefer.
Yeah.
For the ones that we can.
My missus, she drinks almond milk. She has it like with protein shakes and stuff like that. But yeah, we don't drink like cow's milk or anything like that. Very, very rarely.
People that drink jasmine tea with almond milk and shit, etc., just go and have a brew.
Why would you
taking a piss about the duck's milk? I thought it was. I can't see how you'd fucking milk a duck, to be fair. Yeah.
You have to hold it upside down and give it this. Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you'd milk a duck. One thing I do like from a duck, though, is his meat or his eggs.
Yeah. Crispy duck. For a bit of hoisin sauce.
Oh no. Orange and honey glazed duck. Oh my god.
I don't care how it comes, as long as it comes. That's it.
You've heard that here first. Ellie says, you don't mind how it comes, as long as it comes.
I like that. The only thing I'm fussy though with is duck eggs. You have to make the white bit crispy, and you gotta leave the yolk running, and you have to take the yolk full, like whole, so it pops in your mouth. The only way to take it.
I don't think I've ever had duck eggs.
Meat. Fair play, Jenny. I wish I could be in a frame of mood where I could say, right, I can put meat down and go vegetarian. I just can't.
It's
I
against
just like meat.
Sorry.
I do feel bad that I eat meat, I must admit. Not while I'm eating it, I've got to be honest.
I was going to say, I don't. I love meat.
Anyway, it's been fun. For your information, don't try milk a duck. You'll get put on a list. Certainly would, Alex. But night, Alex.
Right, Alex.
Take care, mate.
Well, then, Ellie, I'm on my way.
You're not British if you don't eat meat. Says Hodsky.
I don't feel bad about eating meat. I'm sorry, no. It's against my religion to be vegan. However, I do like vegan food.
Yeah, it's each to their own, isn't it? It's like, one thing I don't agree with, like, when all the vegans are trying to put it down in everyone's throats about.
Yeah, the thing is, right, okay. So I understand the environmentally friendly purposes of being vegan, right? I like vegan food, I like vegan shampoos and all this stuff. The environmental purposes, I support. Yeah. However, is not that environmentally friendly when they're going to clear out fields, use like land which is full of ecosystems to plant their food, which is having the opposite effect to why they don't want to eat meat in the first place.
Yeah.
I think the idea would be to remove the cows out of the cow field and plant vegetarian food instead, and it's environmentally it's a lot better because of the amount of methane the cows produce. But going back to
animals,
not vegan, vegetarian friends, none of them ram it down my throat.
No.
People that want to go into town and say I'm vegan, here's a leaflet, fair enough. But there's two sides to the story. So some of them do try and ram it down people's throats, and some people think it's funny to go up to the vegan people that are standing in town and munch meat in front of them, which I think is disgusting. Yeah. As a meat eater, I wouldn't do it.
No.
I would go talk to them and say, look, I'm a meat eater. Try and change my mind. Let's I've got an open mind. Let's see what you've got.
I tell you what, though, Scott, if you want to try something that's vegan and absolutely banging.
Yeah, I've seen that as well, Hodski.
Sausages they're good. Them
Oh.
shit.
I was vegetarian for close on to 4 years. At one point, I was also bodybuilding, having soya proteins and all sorts. There is some fantastic meat alternatives out there. A nut roast is quite nice. I know it probably don't sound great, but it actually is quite nice. Some of the bacon stuff that the vegetarians do is quite nice.
Yeah.
I think going forward, I think balance is probably the best idea.
Yeah.
Maybe swap out a few of the meat for vegetarian meals because it's already been proven it's better for your bowels than to keep eating red meat going forward. What I have seen especially with older men, the more red meat, the more gout that they get. So that's real painful inflammation in the elbows. So I think as I get older, I'll probably back away from a lot of the red meat and concentrate a bit more on chicken and vegetarian alternatives. That's for sure. Just like Phil says, every industry causes environmental damage in some way.
Yeah, of course it does, yeah.
I did see that Hodski about the avocados killing the bees and stuff like that, but vegetarians don't just eat avocados. I mean, I like avocados. Gemma says, I'm happy to eat vegetarian and vegan meal. So I like a vegetarian curry, but I like a chicken chow mein.
I eat a bit of everything.
Mm. Yeah,
I don't think vegans versus meat eaters should be a battle. I think it should be just a discussion every now and again. It's not worth arguing over because we can say things like, yeah, but your environmental damage. But then, as meat eaters, we've got environmental damage, as Phil's saying. I think the problem is there's too many of us all munching all types of food. That's what the issue is. Hey, Thomas.
I can't eat a parsnip.
Oh, roasted parsnip. Next to a bit of chicken in the gravy. Oh yeah.
I can't do a parsnip.
Tara's the same. She don't like parsnips.
I love all the veg. I'll eat pretty much anything. The only thing I don't like is like fresh olives. I can't eat them. I've tried.
I was like that. I never used to like fresh olives. I never used to like Brussels sprouts. And my nana said, as you get older, your tastes will change. And as I get older, now I flipping love Brussels and I love olives.
Yeah.
I don't like
I've tried so many times, like gone back to trying them fresh. I can eat them cooked. I can eat them in a pizza. We had like this. It was like a bag of frozen, sort of like it was Italian veg, so it had like olives and all sorts in it, and I ate them from there. But having like a fresh one on your plate, no, I just can't touch it. But I'll try again. When I go to Kefalonia on Thursday. I'll probably try one again just to see if my taste buds have changed for them. But I highly doubt it. That's pretty much like all I don't eat.
Hodski says, but it's wrong how people are protesting shops, stopping people from buying goods like milk, etc. It's disgusting. Yeah, considering both my boys drink milk, especially Leo, who doesn't eat much food anyway with his autism, but he will drink a lot of milk. I would have a bit of an issue.
Is it Harrods they went in and they started pouring all the milk all over the floor?
The issue is, we're all passionate about certain things, and where that passion takes you can be to a shop front. Yeah. If the government said to all of us, look, the reptile industry is damaging, we'd all be kicking off a fuss. We'd all be outside Parliament. We'd all be, blocking the road off out there. It's just all about having passion for what they're doing. Whether that passion takes people too far sometimes is probably the case. But yeah, I did see where they went into Harrods and they poured all the milk over the floor, which I thought, well, hold on a minute. Now you're wasting food.
Yeah.
And I think by them doing that, they create a hatred for them.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Unfortunately. I think if you're going to try and change people's minds, you've got to do it subtly. You can't just go
do it the right way.
Bump. A bit like I suppose looking at McDonald's, they've now got the plant burger, which is I've had it. It's really nice. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lovely. It is a really really nice burger. But they don't pressurize you to become vegan. It's just there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just an alternative, isn't it? Yeah, it's like the Greg's vegan sausage roll was supposed to be really nice, isn't it? I've not tried one yet, but I'll give it a go. Some people saying it's better than the proper sausage rolls they do.
I love a vegan sausage. I had so many vegan sausages while we were out with Leah. Not this weekend, but the weekend before. I prefer vegan sausages. They're not as fatty and greasy.
What do we bought some sausages. Yeah, I had them tonight actually. We got them from Aldi's, and I think they were just one of their own. I can't remember what flavour they were, but they were bloody lovely. They were, and they didn't have hardly any fat in them. They were low fat ones, and they were really really tasty. I can't remember what ones they were now though.
I say pork in general is not the best meat for you anyway.
No.
Very very fatty.
See, I wasn't a fan of the. Some vegan burgers are really nice, and then some vegan burgers I don't find that nice.
So I don't like bean burgers. They're not the thing, but like you said, some of the burgers are really really nice. That plant burger from McDonald's, lovely.
Iceland selection vegan burgers. You know, their finest selection is like 2 in a box. I like them ones. But then there's some I've had, and it's just like, no, that's not my thing. I do eat pork when it comes to pork. I don't like the fat of pork. I take all the fat off.
Yeah, I don't have pork all that often. It's not like if we have a roast dinner or something like that. The missus doesn't agree with her, so we tend to stay away from pork. I mean,
there's no pork at all.
I mean, I have a bacon. That's about it, really.
That's a discussion, not for YouTube, to be honest. Scott, did I tell you I got hacked, and that's led to me being monetized? Huh? How's getting hacked led you to being monetized? I don't get it, Thomas.
If you know what the hack was, then after I got demonetized last year, it's nice to get monetized again.
Okay.
Did you delete the video?
Yeah.
Later.
That's the biggest mistake I've done. Yeah. I didn't know.
You off, Ellie?
Yeah, it's 11 now, so I'm gonna go and I'll chat to you all later.
Yeah.
Night, Ellie.
Yeah. Good luck with your exam.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the worst mistake I made, was doing that. But yeah, obviously I didn't have a clue. You know, I don't know how it all fucking works. But yeah, I've tried pleading my case with YouTube. I've managed to find an email address, and I've been backwards and forwards with them this week actually, trying to plead my case. But whether it'll work or not, I don't know. But we'll see.
See, if the video was still there, they could watch it, but
yeah,
and go, okay.
Yeah, but you know, if I think I've probably still got a copy of the video somewhere. If they want to see it, I can say this is what it was. As you can see, it was harmless. But, we'll see. If it happens, it happens. You know, I didn't make a lot anyway. You know, so I'm not worried. Yeah, if my channel ever did take off, then the opportunity to make money isn't there. You know.
Yeah, when people go, oh, you're monetized, they suddenly expect you to be able to give up work and live off it and blah blah blah. Reality of it is, it's very, 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 very little.
Yeah.
What I get basically pays for my subscriptions, with about 20 or 30 quid left over, which I save up and get a mystery box with, or bought a microphone with it. But it goes back into the channel. Scott, do you still have your Emperor Scorpions? Oh, were those the ones that the pairing video? Because they were actually Dale's. He sent me the video footage and said, "Look, use this." So I did, and I did state in that video that they weren't mine. But I've never had Emperors yet, Jenny. Oh, awesome, Thomas. Somebody hacked his account, put an hour and a half or 2 hour video up with just a black screen with no audio. The average view time on it was 57 minutes.
Bloody hell.
I'm new to keeping tarantulas. Scott, I've got make a female red slate. When will I know when they are fully mature? I know for 100% my female is just not sure on the male. So your female's 100% mature. The male, especially on pokies, they hook out, so they get little hooks on their front legs, and then they're in bone.
Pokies don't get hooks.
I thought they got the little tiny microscopic jobbies.
No, pokies don't get typical hooks. They get the emboli, which is pretty much the way you can tell with males are quite easy to spot when they mature because they get really kind of slender and quite fluffy.
Leggy.
I mean, I've got see if I can grab
the embolia really swells up. If you're lucky enough to catch them doing sperm induction or a sperm web, I've done sperm induction video on this channel. If you have a look back through the videos, you'll see that one.
So this is a mature male. This is a Tigrina Weselli. So I don't know how clear the glass is to be able to see how good my camera is, but the only way you can tell is the emboli on the pedipalps.
You got a sperm web in there, Ian?
No, I only got him the other day, so he's already made one, but I haven't put him in with the female yet. Yeah, no, they pokies don't get any tibial hooks at all. Yeah, the pedipalps are different. I don't know if the camera pick it up because there you can just about see them.
Those two amber dots.
Yeah, that's where the emboli is. So they kind of look like little two little tubes that stick out, but they retract into the pedipalps when they're not using them, and they're kind of like on a spring. I did have a really good picture of one, but my phone's dead now, so and my charger's inside. Typically,
and every valve that's on the side of the glass isn't the mature male, is it? No, nope.
Metallica as well doesn't.
Oh, another malt there.
See the
Hey, Anton.
Hi, Anton. How you doing? So, are you doing any breeding projects or anything? Is that anything you're interested in? Is it or?
I've got a few vegan slings. I've got Sciensis, Samani, Peter's Eye, and the Red Claw Scorpions. They're all gravid.
Yeah.
And the Vitata, I think's gravid.
Yeah.
But I'm not majorly into breeding.
No.
I do prefer just keeping side of things, to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see, and in the years to come and what have you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to be honest with you, it wasn't something I was really kind of interested in at the start. But once you kind of do one, it's like, right, I've done that. What can I do next? And
I've got a paired paired pumpkin patch, paired Davius Pentalorus as well. Not too fussed if I get egg sacs or not.
Yeah.
I've got a mature male apophysis. I haven't got a female. But everybody local to me hasn't got them. Hasn't got a female. Anybody that's going to the Bedford show hasn't got a female, so it's like, for fuck's sake.
Always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it'll be good for 2 years anyway.
Yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, they usually live for quite a while, don't they? So for something to come up.
But I don't know. Maybe when I can move everything from out of the kitchen into my own room and control temperatures a lot better.
Yeah.
Then I might go for a bit more. We paired the Regalis, obviously that malted out after several months. So did the Metallica. The K Berenipe, she ate the sack. But I think she ate the sack due to it being a kitchen and not being as quiet as what it should be in here. So just have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in breeding a few other bits and bobs. Apart from the tarantulas. So I want more ants and some other bits, which we'll see coming to the channel pretty soon, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Anton's just put 449 on the chat and says, "Where the fuck's the blue hair?" Gonna do it before Bedford. I'm trying. There's a jade blue that I really like, which is similar to this. Because I think if I just do it a dark blue, it's pointless. It's got to be a bright boom blue, innit?
In your face type thing, yeah.
Yeah. But then I've got to get like, I've got to bleach it as well. Apparently, you got to bleach your hair before you dye it. But then you got to keep a couple of bottles spare because it washes out real easy. Apparently, blue. Really want a Shaco Golden Knee. I'm not good with scientific names, but they're so hard to get hold of as I don't like slings, but that's all I've ever seen is slings. Keep looking on the Spider Shop website. Keep looking on Spar Spiders. Keep looking on Creatures from the North and Bugnut as well. If you send them all messages, say, look, when you get one, can you please let me know? And they will. Lots of tarantulas as well as. Just keep asking. But I get what you're saying. I keep getting slings, and I'm not as into slings because I prefer the bigger spiders now. But I can't resist the mystery box, can I?
See, I'm the opposite. I think I've had one mystery box that I bought. That was quite a few years ago now. At the first BTS I went to. And funnily enough, I've got my adult female P Metallica out of it, so I didn't do too bad out of that one. But I don't know, I've just never been a fan of them, really.
I like Spar Spiders when they do them are worth it because Luke says if he does mystery boxes, he's got to be the best, and they are multiple times the value. Spider Shop ones, you can get anything. That's why I like them.
Yeah.
I did the video, uploaded it and everything, put a shot of my adult female Samani and the Samani in the tub because I just had a quick look at the legs and put it away quick. That was it. They said it was a sub-adult. It's a medium juvenile, if that.
Right.
If that. But I've always had an issue with TSS saying it's sub-adult and it's not.
All right. That's unusual, yeah.
Because sub-adult would lead you to think, well, one more molt and that's it, mature.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless they're going off the fact that you can breed them a large juvenile, maybe. I don't know. I think we're going to end the stream in a minute or two because Lewis coming round in a minute to give us a hand.
Starting to break down there.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah. Nice.
Where this bit is here, where we're here, there's some racking that could possibly go there and make it easier over there. Oh no, yeah.
Who was it asking about the Chaco?
Hodsky.
So I've got a mature male here.
Ooh.
Lovely.
You got the female as well?
No, I haven't got a female. No. This come in a collection that someone was selling. They didn't even know it was a mature male. It was just they just kept it as a pet. And
There it is.
He was mature when he turned up. But yeah, sadly I haven't got a female for him. But I'll keep an eye out, and I'll speak to some people who might have a female that I can send him to. But if not, I'll just give him the best life I can give him. But yeah, he's quite a leggy guy. Yeah, he's
Mr. Spider PL, hey dude, it's Mr. Spider Poland. He's just off packing spiders. But wanted to say hello from. If I even try and pronounce that Polish city name, I'm gonna butcher it completely. But yeah, I think we're gonna end the stream now. If you don't mind, Ian.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. You crack on, mate. You got stuff to get on with. To be honest with you, I've got to get all this fed tonight and tomorrow before I go away for a week and a bit. So,
Fed water, mate. Oh,
crack on feeding some of these and.
Cheers, Vivian. All right, we shall say good night to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. New channel member, Balfour Town. Thank you so much, mate. Really, really appreciate it. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. And if you've been here from the start, wow, you did well. Ian, thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me on.
You, dude. Is there anything you want to give a quick shout out before we?
Just make sure you subscribe to everybody.
Spread the love. Spread the love.
Spread the love. Spread the love.
Night, everybody.
Take care.